The Fan.
Let's breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Exhale very slowly. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
It's gonna be fun welcoming Derek Carr and his eyeshadow back into Arrowhead on Monday Night Football.
Carr's got second and 11 from his own 25. Chiefs lead 24-0. Carr already 2 picks. He'll be sacked this time. Not a fair fight. Stone cold. Chris Jones, Sack Nation, shows up and pulls down Carr.
Listen to the Chiefs and Saints Monday night right here on your new home for Chiefs football.
Let's go Chiefs.
96.5 The Fan.
Uline is here for the hard workers, for the ones rolling up their sleeves, working round the clock, and getting the job done. You're dedicated to doing what it takes to keep a business growing. Uline is dedicated to helping you make that happen. Working 7 days a week, staying fully stocked and ready to ship any of our 41,000 items the same day. Uline, your shipping and industrial supply specialists. Visit uline.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
The Royals are headed to the American League Division Series.
O'Hearn flicks it to the right side. Massey dives, snares on the backhand to his feet. Throw to first in time.
The 1-1. Junior, it's a ground ball up the middle, and that is going to be a diving play by Arias. Throw to first on a bounce is late.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and a swing and a miss, and the Royals are going to advance.
Your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Chiefs, Saints, Monday night at 7 on 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Let's rock and roll, baby. It's Friday. It is a Blue Friday, Red Friday, Happy Friday, FriYAYY.
That's right.
How you doing?
How you
6
doing,
a.m.
Milwaukee?
Come on. Why do you got 27 seconds into the show and you're trolling?
It wouldn't be the same. What a baseball game last night. Good God.
The Mets did to what happens to them to someone else
That's
for the
exactly
first time
right.
in Mets history.
Yep, exactly right.
But why do you have to do that?
Because, man, it was
You're better than
incredible.
that.
No, I'm not.
That's fair.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you're an ass.
I am. I'm going to rub salt in that wound, man. Like, I just can't imagine. I got a text from our buddy Rob Maloney last night. He goes, you were right. The Mets are Metsin', right? And that was the 8th inning. And then the Mets go unbelievably crazy in the 9th. And the Brewers are, 2 outs away from winning this thing?
1st and 3rd, 1 out. Your boy, Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso on the come. I'll tell you what, though. That's, it might have killed Bob Uecker.
On the pitch. Hit in the air to right. Deep warning track and gone.
He's crying. Remember that.
Peter Alonso just put New York on top in this one. With a 3-run home run to right field. And just like that, a 2-0 lead is now a 3-2 deficit. that quickly. Wow.
And that is Bob Uecker, the voice of the Milwaukee Brewers. You can tell that he is absolutely shocked.
Shocked.
Because a man who never does not know what to say has no idea what to say.
What do you do in that situation,
He says the name of the player. He says, which is great broadcasting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but normally Bob Uecker, is, well, that one, and he does say it a little bit later on. He says that one came with some sting on it.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, that's normally a situation where you're like, well, the deficit's only one, or whatever. It's, it's 3-2. We still got a chance. It's a home run. It's just 4 seconds and then 8 seconds of silence. 3 seconds, 8 seconds of silence. But that in a nutshell is exactly why playoff baseball remains undefeated.
It really does, man.
Now, you have to have a dog in the fight to
Absolutely, to be paying attention.
Right?
Yep. Because if the Royals aren't in this, I'm not watching that game last
You're probably
night.
more intrigued with what Kirk Cousins did, which we'll dive into that, too, to open this show up. And then we'll get into all your Royals-Chiefs content for the rest of the show. But that is last night was and this is how I'm going to do this. Last night was a very, very perfect example of why sometimes we don't know what the hell we're talking about. Because we were like, Thursday night, there's no Royals game. The Chiefs don't play till Monday. This week's dragging along. We got to get to Saturday. We got college football. Like, what are we going to do? And you had that baseball game.
Yep.
And you had that Thursday night football game.
And
you had no dog in the fight.
Right.
You could just sit back, do whatever you were doing, folding laundry, getting ready for the weekend, planning things out with the wifey, chilling on the couch, just watching sports with your boys. And you get that just by tuning in.
Just by watching, you get this.
Here's the pitch. Swing on a fly ball to right field. Pretty well hit. Frelick back at the wall. He jumps. It's gone. He did it. He did it. Pete Alonso with the most memorable home run of his career. Pumps his fist as he rounds second. It's a 3-run homer. He's given the Mets a 3-2 lead. They all pour out of the dugout. Alonso on his way to home plate. They're waiting for him.
There it is from the Mets side of things. Howie Rose with the call on the Mets broadcast. Completely different than what Bob Uecker had to say on the Milwaukee side of things, right? I mean,
I would hope so.
But that is, and you're right about playoff baseball. And I said to you before we got on the air, and I go, boy, the pitch clock makes a huge difference in the postseason as well. I mean, these games are flying by. They're entertaining. You're sitting on the edge of your seat. The pitch clock, in my opinion, is the greatest change to sports that we've ever seen. It is the greatest change to sports that we have ever seen in our lifetimes. I know some were alive before the forward pass and whatnot in the NFL. That was a nice invention as well. But this right here is keeping you captivated to these playoff games, because without a pitch clock, we're probably still playing that game up in Milwaukee. We're probably still trying to figure out how to end that thing. But the pitch clock moves these games along, and when you do have a dog and fight, the baseball postseason is better than anything else. It's every single day, and you get magical moments like that. And Pete Alonso, man, like, he is a guy for the entire year that was not producing the way that he needed to be producing for the Mets. He was like the number one guy that Met fans were blaming for losing games or whatever it was. Like, no matter what happened, it was Pete Alonso's fault. He's in the final year of his contract. That dude is now about to get paid because of that home run that he hit last night. Legends are made in the postseason, and Pete Alonso just became a legend on the second biggest stage in New York City with the Mets. I mean, that was just an incredible moment for him last night. And now if you're New York, you got to look at yourself and go, damn, I didn't know we were going to pay Pete Alonso this offseason. He's probably going to walk. And now you got to say that's one of the biggest home runs, if not the biggest home run in Mets history. You got to scratch a check now to Pete Alonso. I mean, you got to pay that guy because of that home run. And that's the beauty of the postseason. There will be somebody for the Royals that we're not expecting right now that maybe had a down season that comes up big and becomes a star and becomes a legend overnight, and you're like, we've got to bring that guy back. We've got to bring this guy back into the fold because of that big home run that he hit for us. There's always going to be that unsung hero in the postseason. As much as Bobby Witt and Aaron Judge need to do it for their teams because they're the stars and stars need to be stars, sometimes you're going to have that guy that you're least expecting come through with a big moment. And nobody, regardless of his history or anything, nobody in Mets land was expecting Pete Alonso to be like that guy last night.
I mean, he's your big power hitter. If anybody was going to do it, I think it's Pete. I know he's had a down year, like you mentioned, but like, Big time. That was insane. Mac, how much of that did you watch, or were you eyes bleeding into the Atlanta Tampa Bay?
I was 2 TVing it up on a Thursday, which
that's right.
for baseball, for baseball playoffs, you would never catch me doing. But like you said, Bob, the Royals are kind of in it, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch, and I was glad I did. It was great.
It's great. Yeah, like you can't watch if the Royals aren't in it, the baseball postseason is not interesting. It really isn't. It's amazing to me how having our team in the postseason really makes me want to watch all of these postseason games. And I remember in 14 and 15, you're consuming all of these playoff games, then the Royals don't do anything, and you just lose interest with baseball. You check out in May, whatever the case may be, and it's been on to football for the last 9 years. But when your team's in it, man, you're paying attention and you're watching and you're captivated. I also thought the other cool scene was the fact that Citi Field had the entire lower bowl full of Met fans last night, and everybody was cheering at the stadium in New York as that game was taking place in Milwaukee. There's something cool about watching these games as a community and with fans, and you're hugging strangers and you're kissing people you'd never met before. That's the beauty of sports, and that's why it's so good when we have our teams in the postseason, because it allows you those opportunities to celebrate and be with the people and have some fun, and everybody sharing in those moments. And seeing fans go crazy is fun. Seeing fans depressed, you feel that emotion. And we were kind of talking about like that kick in the gut moment for us here in Kansas City, and you'd mentioned that Colts game and where they were up 28 points is that kind of gut punch like Brewer fans were feeling last night. And I think you're probably right about that, because that was a game you should have won. You're up 28 points late in the game, and you lose it, and you blew it, and you found a way to screw that whole thing up. And that's Milwaukee. You got 2 outs to go, and you're on to the NLDS, and you lose a game in that fashion last night. That is a gut punch that I've never seen before.
Yeah, the conversation we were having was we'd rather get blown out and know it's coming, or have that kind of thing happen to you. And the two situations that I bring up as a Chiefs fan, I knew at the end of the Tampa Bay Super Bowl that game was over at halftime.
Oh, God, yes.
And I looked at everybody that we were at the watch party with. I was like, you can enjoy the rest of it. I'll peek in, walk around, but I'm going to go enjoy the food now. I'm going to be probably leaving by the 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter, but this game is, in my opinion, is over.
Over.
And people can say, whatever they want, like, oh, you didn't believe in Patrick Mahomes?
No.
He didn't have anybody blocking for him, so I knew he was screwed.
Yeah. And then, Tyrann Mathieu got into it and all that kind of stuff. It started to crumble at the end of the first half. And
plus, he threw an interception, I think, at the end of the first half, and it was not good. And then, then you look at the other end of the spectrum, and you look at that Colts game,
right?
And you're sitting there, you're like, all right, we finally beat Indianapolis. We're gonna play in a second round game.
Get
we got
ready
a chance.
To go to New England,
Gotta go face Tom Brady again. Here we go. And then it's just like one piece after the other, and you're like, oh my God, this is happening again.
Yep.
And not only that, you parlay that with, I think it was a real crappy weather night. It was like sleeting and cold and nasty, and like you were just like, you know what, this is it. I'm done.
Yep.
I don't want to do sports for the next week. You just don't want to do it, and that's exactly what you saw last night in that game, which is Milwaukee hits 2 home runs in the bottom of the 8th. They send their closer out there in the 9th. They're up 2-0. They got
lose.
1 out, first and third. Even if like Alonso hits like a sack fly, it's 2-1, 2 outs.
Yeah.
Next guy's done. You're like, the worst possible case scenario here is Pete Alonso hits a home run and he hits it opposite field.
Right.
Stab my heart, stab my temple, and just get me out of my misery.
And then seeing the fans' reaction in the crowd.
Crying tears.
Crying. Like everybody's feeling that moment. And I think as sports fans, we've all been there, where you see your team lose, where you expect them to win, and you have your heart ripped out. I think every sports fan can relate to that moment last night. But by God, man, these first 3 games, this first round of the postseason was spectacular. The Royals grinding out 2 games by the skin of their teeth in Baltimore. The Mets going 3 with Milwaukee and hitting a game-winning home run in the 9th inning. It's just been a wild, fun start to this postseason, and it's only going to continue to get even better this weekend as the Royals and the Yankees open up their series coming up on Saturday. That'll be here on 96.5 The Fan, and then we roll into Monday, and then Monday is going to be a bleep show around Kansas City. Tuesday, nobody's going to be working, and so here we go, folks. The march to October, I guess you could say, is officially on, and we're starting to plan our off days and kind of low productivity time around the city in the month of October, like we did in 14 and 15, because settle in, man. It's going to be a wild, wild ride.
Settle in at 96.5 The Fan today, especially from 6 to 10 a.m. I don't know how much of a bigger Friday show you can get for a blue and red Friday, October. Kurt Nelson, Hall of Famer at 7 a.m. How you doing? Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs, 7:25. How you doing? Royals and baseball Hall of Famer George Brett, 8 o'clock. How you doing? That's a damn good show. Stay tuned.
You forgot the biggest guest of all.
And then our roundtable guest, Jay Binkley. If you want a man sandwich that has every ingredients, you got a Nelson Holtis Brett Binkley sandwich.
And Binkley canceled surgery to come in today.
You got that nice brioche bun and Kurt Nelson. Got nice hair, nice eyes, soft mustache. Mitch Holtis, he's the meat. George Brett, he's the other ingredients, the lettuce, the tomato, the bacon. He can do it all. And then Jay Binkley's just your potato salad.
Jay Binkley's mayonnaise.
There you go. He brings it all together. Bob Fescoe, Dusty Likens, Mac Morey. This is 96.5 The Fan. This is Fescoe and Dusty, and you're listening to 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, guys, let's have a frank conversation here. You may be suffering from erectile dysfunction, right? And if you are, it's not that big a deal because we can get that fixed. With even more of us affected as we get into our 60s and beyond, ED can also impact younger men, even in their 30s, which makes it one of the most pervasive conditions in medicine. ED is an emotional toll on relationships. It impacts a man's confidence and self-esteem, which are true tragedies of erectile dysfunction. This is why you need to get treated for your ED, and that's where my friends at Heartland Men's Health come in. Heartland Men's Health has treatments when the pills or herbals fail. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%, and some treatments can even have you last an hour or more. Heartland Men's Health is successfully treating men right here in Kansas City, so I want you to schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is just $99, and it includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and, if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Plus, they have an expert staff, and if you're like a lot of men, you could be having sex the day after your appointment. They have 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence, Missouri, between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and their new office in North Kansas City. So call them today, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
It's a Red Friday on 96.5 The Fan and the other place, especially with these amazing game day specials. 14-inch 2-topping pizzas for just $12 and $4 domestic OP cups. The other place with 5 great Kansas City Metro locations.
Brought to you by Blue KC is the Coaches with Character program. Do you know a rock star high school coach in your district? Nominate them for the Blue KC Coaches with Character program at bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character. Let's make our coaches feel special and make our community a better place to live, work, and play.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Sean Barber. You know there's nothing easier than to enjoy watching the Chiefs with some wings and an ice-cold Bud Light. And Buffalo Wild Wings is serving up both for every game, all season long. Join me at Buffalo Wild Wings, located off 105th in Metcalf and Overland Park, Friday, October 4th. I'll be there with the crew from 6 to 8 p.m., celebrating the back-to-back Super Bowl champs while eating some wings and drinking $5 Bud Light. Nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
For more, go to 965thefan.com. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
What if I told you that there was a single management software that could handle your CRM, accounting, manufacturing, marketing, inventory, sales, and everything in between for a fraction of the cost of the dozens of disconnected platforms most companies rely on to manage their business? Sounds pretty good, right? Well, that's Odoo. Odoo is the end-all, be-all for any business of any size, and it's ready to help your company reach the next level and beyond. Learn more at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
What's wrong?
My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation.
Are you crying? Are you crying because of that other credit card?
Uh-huh.
Well, switch to the Capital One Venture card. Venture lets you redeem miles on any travel purchase.
Really?
Yep, and you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every single day. The Capital One Venture card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go. So I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partnered with Beacon. With their unique Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Uline is here for the hard workers, for the ones rolling up their sleeves, working round the clock, and getting the job done. You're dedicated to doing what it takes to keep a business growing. Uline is dedicated to helping you make that happen. Working 7 days a week, staying fully stocked and ready to ship any of our 41,000 items the same day. Uline, your shipping and industrial supply specialists. Visit uline.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Community America Credit Union. Member owned, open to all, invested in you.
Join the fans Cody and Gold today as they broadcast live from Community America Credit Union off 135th and Black Bob in Olathe. Take photos with Chiefs cheerleaders and Casey Wolf for some Chiefs gear and win tickets to Monday's Chiefs game. All at Community America's Black Bob location in Olathe.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
On the Missouri side, 35 southbound from Missouri 152 into downtown is a 12-minute trip. Checking the Cordell and Cordell no delay freeway. I-70 westbound from 470 into downtown is 15 minutes. Kansas side 70 eastbound from 435 to 670, an 11-minute drive. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Right back at it here on 96.5 The Fan. Dusty Likens, Bob Fescoe, McMorey here on your home for Kansas City Sports. Royals will play Saturday, 6:38. No, 5:38, 6:38 on Monday. 5:38 or 17:38 when it comes to the Royals on Saturday. Getting to that point. Trying to hold it in. Trying not to get too over the top with it. Well, you got to get through today. Today's a big day of just kind of waiting, right? Like they always say the wait is the hardest part, and I think a lot of people are into that kind of stage now because, you know, in baseball, you're used to, hey, let's go, man. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And then all of a sudden you get to the postseason, and it's like, okay, let's go, and now let's stop for a few days and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. And so as we sit here and wait, as we sit here and, you know, kind of twiddle our thumbs and figure out what we're going to do to kill the time in between now and 5:30 tomorrow afternoon, I guess we just sit there and hope, right? Like everything turns out for the best and that everybody comes to the ballpark tomorrow on the Royals side of thing and plays their A game, man. Like Michael Wacha, go out there and hold down that lineup. They're giving you the ball in game one. That's a big, 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 big compliment to get that ball in game one at Yankee Stadium. And so Michael Wacha, man, go out and do your thing. And this offense, go out and score a couple of runs. You don't need to score 100 runs or anything like that. Get you 2-3 runs, and you got an opportunity to win this thing because the Royals' bullpen has been lights out over their last 40 innings. They've given up one run. The starters have been fantastic, you know, through the postseason at the end of last year, and that's what you need. That's the recipe to have success in the Bronx is score a couple of runs and pitch like you've been pitching, and this series will just take care of itself.
I'm interested because, I don't know, I hit you with a little comment this morning that this is one of those series where there are two outstanding baseball athletes that are going up head-to-head with each other, which is Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people will probably disagree with this. That's fine. But I know Juan Soto is in the lineup for the Yankees. I know Salvador Perez is in the lineup for the Royals. Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt Jr. both cannot afford an off night in these series. And the reason I say that is because this is different than a regular season where if Aaron Judge goes out there in game 99 and strikes out 3 times and 4 at-bats and the Yankees lose, there's no big deal.
Nobody cares.
If he goes out there tonight or Saturday and goes over 4 with 3 strikeouts and the Yankees lose
he's getting
4-2,
crushed.
they're going to ask him, everyone's going to shift.
Mm-hmm.
If Bobby Witt Jr. goes out for the Royals and goes 0 for 4 in game 1 and they don't win and they lose 6-1, people are going to be like, well, shoot. If Bobby Witt Jr. doesn't get on or doesn't make things, hectic, Royals can't win.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point of where these two guys are within their careers already for Bobby Witt Jr. and obviously they're with Aaron Judge. And you've mentioned all week, there's a ton of pressure on Aaron Judge in New York.
Oh, God, yes.
That's the contract that you bear. That's the bed that you make that you must sleep in, is that if you want to become one of these guys in New York, just like we just talked about Pete Alonso, he's going to have a contract that he can sign in the offseason. If he wants to stay with New York and they're a playoff team this year, they're now going to expect Pete Alonso to always be this Pete Alonso. It's just the territory.
Right.
And I think that does kind of play into the playoffs. I think also like 9 days off is kind of like, who are we going to play? Who do we prepare for? I'm sure the Yankees have one of those hitting nets in their dugout, unlike the Royals.
Right.
But again, I'm not trying to give excuses. I just think that that's where these two guys are in their careers already for Bobby, and where Aaron Judge has kind of built his clout. Aaron Judge is the guy that hits the home runs. He's the guy that's like the face of the Yankees, which are the face of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Always have been, always will be. It is what it is. But if Aaron Judge goes 0 for 4 and strikes out 3 times, that means you're depending on Juan Soto, who hits before Aaron Judge. No matter what he does, Aaron Judge isn't doing anything for him to do that, which means Juan Soto is irrelevant. And the same thing is without Salvador Perez, or with Bobby Witt Jr., he's got Vinny and Sal behind him. I don't know how much pop Vinny has. I know that he's playing. He's able to put the ball in play, which is more than anybody else can do.
So you don't need home runs.
But if Bobby Witt Jr. doesn't get on, Vinny Pasquantino is useless in the lineup.
Yep.
And if Bobby Witt Jr. doesn't get on and Vinny Pasquantino, then it's like, well, then Salvador Perez, he doesn't really have that chance. So those two guys who anchor both of these teams, one off night, you can guarantee the other team's going to win.
Well, and you look at Aaron Judge, too, and the pressure that is surrounding him is mighty. He is the most prominent athlete on the most important sports team in New York City. And when you hold that face and when you wear that C on your jersey with the Yankees, you've got to do good things, not in the regular season, but in the postseason. And Aaron Judge hasn't done that yet. I mean, he has not led his team to a championship. And you look at all those retired numbers out there. I'm sure one day Aaron Judge wants his number 99 retired out there in Monument Park with the Yankees and to become one of the legends of the game. And that probably will happen because he mashes a lot of home runs, and we saw what he did last year and setting records and all that kind of stuff. But if he doesn't win a championship in New York, he's going to be looked at as a yeah-but guy in Yankee history. Like, yeah, he was really good, but he was a captain that never led his team to a championship. And so I think there is immense pressure on Aaron Judge. I was talking to a buddy of mine who came over last night. We're sitting out there watching these baseball games talking about this stuff. And he was like, yeah, I agree with you. Aaron Judge has more pressure on him than maybe any other athlete we've seen in our lifetimes when it comes to trying to win a championship. And if Aaron Judge doesn't go out there and lead the Yankees to a championship, he's always going to have that hanging over his head. And the Yankees now, too, they're looking at this saying our nemesis, the Astros, are out. Our nemesis, the Orioles, are out. We just have to get through the American League Central. And so they've got themselves what a lot of people are considering an easier road than if it was the Astros or Orioles in front of them. But I don't think it is an easier road. I think the Yankees are going to have to be on their A game. Aaron Judge is going to have to play big. And if Aaron Judge doesn't have to play big, it doesn't play big, and they're not on their A game, then the Yankees are going to be going home. And you're right about that. The same goes for the Royals as well. If Bobby Witt doesn't have the series that we need Bobby Witt to have, then the Royals are going to go home. This is where your stars have to be stars. And that's kind of the theme of the postseason. Your stars need to be stars. Pete Alonso 6 months ago was a star in New York. He was like, oh my God, we got to re-sign this guy. We can't let him get the free agency. Had a very milquetoast type of season. And then in the postseason, he was a star last night. Your stars need to be big. Your stars need to raise their level of play because they're stars for a reason. And so Bobby Witt Jr. and Aaron Judge, I think it is the two biggest stars going head-to-head in this postseason. Which one is going to lead their team to a victory? Because that's the way it's all going to be spun. If the Yankees win, it's Aaron Judge and the Yankees advance. If the Royals win, it's Bobby Witt and the Royals advance. If either of those teams lose, Aaron Judge couldn't help the Yankees win. Bobby Witt couldn't help the Royals win. And it's going to fall back to them because they are the big stars. This is the biggest moment that Bobby Witt's ever had. This is the biggest moment Aaron Judge has ever had. Which one of these stars is going to be the best player on the field? And ultimately, Dusty, I think that determines who wins this game, or this series. Which star shows up the biggest? And if Aaron Judge wilts under pressure, if Bobby wilts under pressure, then their teams are not going to win this series.
It's interesting when you go into these series how much pressure obviously mounts up in the situation. Like it's going to be, and I know you all probably already know this. It's going to be electric on Saturday night.
God, yes.
It is New York Yankees. It is the Bronx. It is playoff baseball. It is a different atmosphere there. And you can go into that place and really cut it out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really cut it out. Like they do their little chants in right field where they call out every player and get a tip of the cap from it and then give them a round of applause. It's like a Premier League soccer game in Manchester.
Yeah, it really is.
They've got their cult following. They have their iconic pinstripes. They have the Monument Park. You know that everybody that's come from New York is considered great. They're the evil empire. But by God, if you have Bobby Witt Jr. get up in there in the first inning and hit an absolute piss missile, that crowd will go silent.
Mm-hmm.
And then those people and those athletes, and I'm not saying it's the first thing that comes to their mind. I shouldn't say that. That's my apology. But one of the things that comes to their mind is, well, shoot. All right, we got to win this game, but we're not going to hear the end of it. And that's one game.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, I can promise you that if we come into this show Monday and the Royals do happen to lose on Saturday, it will not be doom and gloom, sky is falling.
No, it should not be.
Because I'll know that they have Cole Reagans. Whereas the Yankees will forget that their roster is $500 million. But that $500 million roster, it ain't so good against the Royals pitchers. Aaron Judge, 1 for 28 versus Lugo, Reagans, and Waka.
Not good. 0-36.
Jazz Chisholm, 1 for 18.
0-55.
With those three guys. Giancarlo Stanton, formerly known as Mike, 7 for 34, 2 home runs.
But only a 205 average.
Decent.
Yeah.
Volpe, Bob, easy math, 0 for 11.
0.
He's
Lutarski.
Juan Soto, intentionally walk him every time.
Every time. Don't pitch to Soto.
Pitch to him and strike out Judge. He is 8 of 26, 2 home runs with a what average?
307.
Pretty solid.
That's pretty good, yeah.
And then Gleyber Torres, 4 of 29.
So do you walk Soto and pitch to Judge in that type of situation? I mean, the numbers would say that you do, but logic would say you probably don't in those type of situations either. If you walk Juan Soto to get to Aaron Judge, you know what that's going to do to Aaron Judge. That's going to piss him off, and then Aaron Judge is going to go out there and absolutely rake against you because that shows disrespect to Aaron Judge. That's why when you look at these numbers, they're great and everything, and that's why I predicted the Royals in 2 because the Yankees are going to surrender after Game 2 and just not want to come to Kansas City and waste the fuel on the plane and all the travel expenses. But if you work around Juan Soto to get to Aaron Judge will make you pay that type of series. So I don't think you could do that. But the numbers are really staggering when you look at the middle of that lineup and you look at what they're doing against these 3 Royal starters that are going to be rolled out there in this series. I mean, you're going to see Reagans, Waka, and Lugo. And you're not going to see anybody else start for the Royals. That's going to be it. It's going to be Waka, Reagans, Lugo, and then if it goes Game 5 back to New York, you're going to see Cole Reagans in Game 5. So he sets up for Game 2 and Game 5 if it should go all 5 games. And that's beautiful for the Royals to have Cole Reagans in there at least twice. But, these guys have dominated the Yankees over the course of their careers with the exception of Giancarlo Stanton. Like or Juan Soto, and Stanton too. He's got a couple of home runs. Those are the 2 guys in the lineup that you really have to be wary of. And all of that stuff with the Yankees and the crowd and the chanting and the stadium and the history and Monument Park, none of that's playing the game. It all comes down to the players. It all comes down to the pitching. It all comes down to making the right decisions in the dugout. I think we have the advantage in the manager over Aaron Boone. I think we have the advantage in starting pitching, in my opinion, on the mound. The only thing we don't have an advantage of is having a couple of mashers in the middle of the lineup like Soto and Judge and Stanton. And you know what? You don't really need those mashers in the lineup.
Right.
So I just think the Royals match up so good right now with the New York Yankees, and I'm really excited. Like, I'm not going to be shocked if the Royals win this series at all. I'll be stunned if they lose this series. I will absolutely be shocked if they lose this series to the Yankees because on paper, they match up with New York better than maybe anybody in baseball right now.
Last time the Yankees and Royals played, the Royals lost 2 of 3.
Yep.
but their starting pitching was actually good. Cole Reagan, 6 innings, 3 hits, 7 strikeouts, and the loss, they would lose that game 4-3.
Mm-hmm. And that was back when you couldn't rely on the bullpen, Dusty. I mean, the Royals came here in June, and they took 3 out of 4 from the Yankees. And then we just went to New York at the beginning of September, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and played the Yankees and lost 2 out of 3 to New York. But it wasn't because of the starting pitching. It was because of the bullpen. But now you look at the bullpen right now, they're pitching great. 1 run in 40 innings of their last 40 innings since middle of September. Like, I'm ready to ride with this bullpen. And I think what they've shown us in Baltimore, what they've shown us for the last 40 innings, we should all be ready to ride with this bullpen. We should all be excited about this bullpen and not worry when that bullpen door opens and Sam Malone comes in or Angel Zerpa comes in or Ursig comes in. Like, it just doesn't matter who's coming in out of that bullpen right now because those guys have been pitching their asses off, and they do give you an opportunity to win. They're not costing you the game anymore. And I had somebody in baseball tell me, they go, usually in the playoffs, the thing that kills you all season long turns around and bites you in the postseason again. And I said, so you mean the bullpen for the Royals? He's like, yeah, the bullpen for the Royals wasn't good all season long. Usually that's what gets you in the playoffs. But at this point in time, as we're seeing, this isn't your father's Royals bullpen or your newborn baby's bullpen because they're going out there and they're dominating. They're getting guys out and they're making great pitches and they're giving their team an opportunity to win these games.
When Seth Lugo would play against them, the last time they played, they would win 5-0. 7 innings, 3 hits, 10 strikeouts for Lugo.
Nice.
They played the Yankees earlier on in the season where they lost 3 of 4.
Right. And if I'm not mistaken, Singer pitched in one of those games.
Lugo pitched in the opener, but then the rest of your starters were Singer, that Alberto guy that we forget about that pitched.
Who?
Yeah, your guy. You liked this guy. He was like one of your guys. His name was
Alberto.
Dan Altavilla.
Oh, that guy. Altavilla. Yeah,
you loved him.
Yeah,
you loved him until they played the Yankees.
That guy, yeah.
And Alec Marsh and Brady Singer. So they saw Cole Reagans once. They didn't see Walker. They saw Lugo twice, and he was pretty damn good both those times. So 2 guys they haven't seen in the year. The Yankees would go 5-2 versus the Royals in their 7 games, but they would not face Reagans more than once. They would not face Michael Walker, and the 2 times they faced Lugo had his way. He used to have his bullpen on one game, and the other one he was 5-0 shutout. He didn't need anybody.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, that kind of tells the story right there. The Yankees beat the Royals 5 out of 7 games, but they didn't really face much good pitching.
They beat Singer twice. They beat Alec Marsh. They beat Alberto's, and they beat Lugo 4-3. That was
the bullpen game. Yeah. So there you go. Like I mean, that right there should tell you that this ball club is ready to go. The starting pitching is going to dominate for the Royals. I expect these to be low-scoring games. I expect you to have to scratch out runs. I expect Garcia, if you're called on to bunt, you get the damn bunt down and you're able to bunt because runs are going to be a premium. I think you're going to have to play a small ball style of baseball to beat the Yankees. And quite frankly, I think if the Yankees want to win this series too, they should play a small ball style of ball and not try to hit home runs because it just doesn't work like that in the playoffs.
I also think it's fun to beat the Yankees too if you can, because they just always seem to have those like players on their team that everybody's like kind of in like agreement that nobody likes. Like I never really understood why anybody would like Paul O'Neill.
Okay, but great player though.
Sure, but like
great player.
Big piss baby.
Yeah.
Right? That's a Cody Tapp term, so I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah.
A-Rod.
You didn't like A-Rod.
No one did, but I know he played for a ton of teams, but like he had to go to New York.
Right.
Roger Clemens, right? Threw a bat at Mike Piazza. Goes, I didn't know you were standing there. I was like, yeah, you did. And Mikey P was ready to rip your head off, dude.
Oh yeah.
So you think there's always that player, Garrett Cole?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if. I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest. I mean, there are customs and practices that have been passed down from older players to younger players, from the last generation of players to this generation of players. And, I think there are some things that are certainly out of bounds in that regard. And I've stood pretty firm in terms of that, in terms of the communication between our peers and whatnot. And I, again, like I mentioned earlier, there's, this is important to a lot of people that love the game, and this is including the players in this room, including fans, including teams. And so if MLB wants to, legislate some more stuff, that's a conversation that we can have, because ultimately we should all be pulling in the same direction.
They took away his spider tack, and he
Right.
had that explanation to say, like, well, the fans and players and coaches love it.
Yeah, 65-second word salad that said literally nothing and was just words. And I find that cut to be very important. Number one, because it shows that Garrett Cole was a cheater and then got busted and then had to use the spider tack, loosely, if you will. They can't use it anymore. However, they're doing things in baseball these days. But it also shows me there that Garrett Cole is not a gentleman who handles adversity well. And that's what I like most about this, because I think if the Royals can get to Garrett Cole early, Garrett Cole's the type of guy who doesn't know how to dig himself out and doesn't know how to fight back and doesn't know how to battle back. He's one of those guys, when things are going great, he's a fantastic pitcher. But the minute you get into trouble, that's when Garrett Cole has the opportunity to be knocked out of a game, because an answer like that, it's a Zoom call in 2021. So everything's kind of still on Zoom because of what's going on in the world and whatnot. And you're doing a press conference on the heels of this spider tack thing being talked about. You should know going in that somebody's going to ask you, did you use spider tack? Did you cheat, allegedly, when you were on the mound? Did you use this stuff? And to not have an answer ready to go, to not be prepared, to not be focused, to not be dialed in, and to not consider that question may even be coming, tells me that Garrett Cole is not ready for the big moments. He wilts under pressure, and I'm excited to get a couple of runners on in the first inning and see Garrett Cole absolutely melt out there on the mound, because that cut alone shows me everything I need to know about Garrett Cole. He's not tough between the ears. Go after him early, make him work hard, make him struggle, make him face adversity. He's not going to be able to handle it.
Yeah. Paul O'Neill once hit 2 home runs for the for a crippled child.
He did,
Bub.
absolutely. Yeah.
Why do I always do that to myself?
Yeah, because it was a TV show.
Okay. It's a Seinfeld reference.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Paul O'Neill. Well, I didn't. And then Wade Boggs went to the Yankees. Johnny Damon went to the Yankees. Jason Giambi, all those guys. Coming up on the other side, we'll get into our unsung heroes of the first half. And would you look at this? A wide receiver that's making odds and his favorites are the Chiefs. Boy, do I feel like an idiot now. Bob Fescoe, Mac Morey, Dusty Like It. You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan. It's your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for K-State athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got some big news to talk about when it comes to my friends over at Foaling, because as we hit October, they want you to know that it is free Foaling Fridays on every Friday in October. All you have to do is show up and say, let me foal for free. Fescoe sent me from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Get in early and get foaling just before 6 p.m., and it's free. Plus, they'll have rotating drink specials and seasonal selections for the fall. And if you have a large group and you still need to hold some space, reservations are available as well. You just have to make one of those on their website and say, hey, we're going to come foal later on today. But more importantly, get there early today. Get there early next Friday. Every Friday, you have the opportunity now to foal for free. And foaling is football plus bowling plus bar, and that's Foaling Warehouse, Kansas City. You can reserve that lane at foalingkc.com or just stop by and visit them any day, or especially now on Fridays in October from 2 to 6. You can foal around for free and find out how awesome foaling truly is. A world-class bar. They allow you to bring your own food, and it's fun for everybody, for the kids, for adults, for group outings, for date night, for hanging out with the boys, or just doing a nonprofit event. Foaling has got something for everyone. So get there today between 2 and 6. You'll get free foaling every Friday in October. Tell them I sent you when you walk in to get that free foaling. Reserve the lane at foalingkc.com and get your foal on.
Hey, you want to know a secret? I don't talk about it much, but I have a lot of big-name designer jewelry at House of Diamonds. Oh, I don't sell it. It's all in our shop being repaired or rebuilt. This is Gene, and if you think about it, it makes sense. Many big-name designers manufacture thousands of rings and bracelets at a time. By using a little less gold here or there and shipping production overseas to a cheap labor factory, they can add millions to the bottom line. Yes, that means more repair work for me, but I hate seeing people pay more for a big name and get less in return. At House of Diamonds, our custom jewelry is made one at a time by a craftsman from a unique, one-of-a-kind design created just for you and only for you. We offer a double lifetime warranty on craftsmanship because we can. Big designer names want to make it cheap. Our family name wants to make it right. Come see the difference at House of Diamonds. House of Diamonds on the southeast corner of College and Quivira.
The Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and our 2 soccer teams, the Current and St. Louis City SC, are all endorsing Amendment 2. Here's why you should support it too. Right now, Missouri sports fans are taking their money and placing their bets in Kansas and Illinois. We're losing our money to other states, money that could be invested in our schools. Amendment 2 fixes that. By legalizing sports betting, Amendment 2 will generate over $100 million for Missouri schools over the next 5 years. And there's a strong constitutional guarantee ensuring the revenue from sports betting will go to education. Kansas and Illinois know sports betting is a winner for their fans and taxpayers. It's time for Missouri to get into the game. Amendment 2 means over $100 million for Missouri schools. Join the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, Current, and St. Louis City SC in supporting Amendment 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Do you know your ash from your barrel and current? It's the ABCs of fire extinguishers. Class A is for fires involving combustible materials that would turn to ash. Class B is for fires involving flammable liquids that could be stored in a barrel. Class C is for current, for electrical fires. ABC, Ash Barrel Current. Is your business properly equipped to protect your property and people from any type of fire? Call Keller.
Keller Fire and Safety. KellerFire.com.
Hey, football fans. Time to step up your game with Johnny's Barbecue tailgate packages. Whether you're hosting a home game or tailgate, Johnny's Barbecue has you covered. We've been serving award-winning traditional KC barbecue since 1977. Johnny's Barbecue was featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives with legendary Guy Fieri. It's time you experienced KC's hidden gem of barbecue. Check out our tailgate packages at johnny'sbbqkc.com. Located in Olathe and serving all of KC. Johnny's Barbecue, taste the smoke.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print everything for my business. Sure can. And the quality is guaranteed? Absolutely. Plus, you'll beat any price quote. Is that right? For sure. How about this one? We'll beat it. Can you print menus, signs, and flyers? Sure can. How about blueprints? No problem. What about red prints?
Not a real thing.
What if they were?
We'd print them, and they'd look amazing.
Now at Staples, print more, save more. Up to $150 off your print purchase. Ends 11/2. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details and staples.com/price match for in-store price match guarantee.
It's time to find out who was in the zone. Presented by AutoZone. After starting the season off with a loss, Washington has won 3 straight games to lead their division. Guided by their rookie first-round quarterback's historic performances over the past 2 weeks and record-setting completion percentage through 4 weeks, they have become a true contender in the league. In the Zone is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Is your vehicle stopping like it should? Does it squeal or grind when you brake? Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This report brought to you by Peters Clothiers on the Missouri side, 29 southbound. Just a brief slowdown at the merge with I-35. Past that, things move well into downtown. The best of the best event at Peters Clothiers is this Friday and Saturday only. Select from the best designers in the world, such as Samuelson, the best value in custom clothing, to Cloth by Zanya, the best fabric for sports coats. Come in to Peters Clothiers, 124th and State Line. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Back in on 96.5 The Fan, Fescoe and Dusty with you here on a Friday morning. Damn glad to have you. Hope everybody's had a good week. I thought this week went by completely fast. Obviously with 2 watch parties at Jefferson's on Tuesday, Wednesday. A little golf action yesterday, Fridays today. Happy hour, first Fridays, whatever you want to do today. You can always go over to our Facebook page, or Twitter page, YouTube page, subscribe. You can watch the show while you listen to it, while you're ironing those pants, getting that breakfast ready for the kiddos. Throw it on the big screen. Throw it on the smart TV. Check us out. You can also check out the Royals this weekend in the Yankees. 5:38 is the game on Saturday. 6:38 is the game on Monday. Then the Chiefs will be at 7:30
right
on Monday Night Football against the Saints. And then head into a bye week 4-0.
Yeah.
5-0.
5-0.
5-0. I thought this was interesting because, as some of you might know, certain people considered me moronic or idiotic to have this discussion. And I want to give you the roots of the discussion. The Chiefs brought back Kareem Hunt. The Chiefs lost 2 wide receivers in the first 4 weeks of the season. Hell, before the first week of the season, they lost one of them. And I said, well, I think that this season for the Chiefs is an over my dead body attempt at a title for Clark Hunt, Brett Veach, Mark Donovan. Those are the 3 honchos, right? Those are the 3 big ones. Year 1 was for Andy. Year 2 was for the city. And the 3rd one was for Norma or for, maybe the team. I don't know. And this one feels like a 3-peat solidifies you as a franchise for the rest of time. Like no one's taking you away from anything. You have nothing to be taken from.
The 3-peat solidifies you as the greatest dynasty in NFL history.
And one of the greatest dynasties of
all time in all sports.
All time. Going back to whenever sports were created.
Right. This is a big, big deal and a huge season and so much at stake. Like, I still think at times people don't realize what the magnitude of this season really is and who this season is truly big for. This is big for the organization. This is big for the Hunt family because Andy Reid's going to be gone. Patrick Mahomes is going to be gone. Brett Veach is going to be gone. Mark Donovan's going to be gone. Chris Jones is going to be gone. Travis Kelce's going to be gone. The Hunts are never going to be gone. It's always going to be their franchise. It's always going to be theirs. And so this is one of those titles that solidifies them as one of, if not the best ownerships in all of the NFL. Their dad basically invented the league when he formed the AFL, created the merger, invented the Super Bowl, the whole 9 yards. We know the history, right? But the one thing that nobody has done in this league in the Super Bowl era is win 3 straight. You do that, and you do something that nobody else in this league has ever done before, you put yourself in a completely different realm than everybody else. And so I've been telling you since this season started and since training camp started and since OTA started how important this 3-peat truly was to this organization. So much so that they were bringing back Kareem Hunt to the team, right? We all thought in our wildest dreams that Kareem Hunt would never come back to Kansas City. He lied to the owner, and ultimately that's what did him in. But they're looking around and they're going, you know what? We need a running back. This guy's available, played here before. Let's let bygones be bygones, and let's mend fences, and let's bring him back if he gives us the best opportunity to get this 3-peat. Because if you win the 3 straight, nobody can ever take that away from you, and nobody can ever say that there's a better dynasty in the NFL than what's going on right now. It is so important to this organization to get these 3 straight championships that they're willing to do anything. And so, in my opinion, nothing is off the table right now when it comes to having conversations about who you can add into the fold here in Kansas City. It's fun to talk about, and then sometimes reality does set in, you know?
What is that reality, Bob?
Well, the reality is they've got about $4 million to last them the rest of the year.
But you've also stated that the salary cap is a fake thing.
It is, but there's also a budget that you have as well, and so if your boss tells you, hey, or your household budget, or however you want to look at it, you got $1,000 that you can spend and afford to spend, you can't go over that, right? And so that's kind of where they are. They got about $4 million if you look at Spot Rack. That's supposed to last them the rest of the season. They've had a lot of injuries already this season, so you don't want to take that $4 million and spend it all in one place. Maybe you get another team to eat some salary. Maybe you wait a couple of weeks as salaries start to decrease because weeks are starting to decrease in the NFL before you make a big move. Or maybe you just sit around and say, you know what, I got my fingers crossed. Rashee Rice is going to be back. He was walking around the locker room the other day, and, you know, obviously it looks better than it originally looked on Sunday when he had that injury happen, but we still don't know the extent of it. We won't know until Monday or Tuesday once the swelling goes down and they get that camera in there and look around. But they've got about $4 million that they can spend for the rest of the season, and they've got to make that last. And we're only in week 4 or week 5, whatever this is now.
Some would say, and some would write, that it was atrocious, blasphemous, idiotic to even mention Tyreek Hill's name in the Chiefs. You want to let people know who has the best odds according to Vegas where Tyreek Hill will land?
Well, it's the Chiefs at 3-1. Yeah, it's
so I'm not the only one that thought it was
Tyreek
a weird
was
idea.
asked about it the other day down at his press conference. You know, when he speaks to the media, the Miami folks asked him about potentially being traded and coming back to Kansas City. And I mean, look, it's a conversation to have. It's sports talk radio, right?
Is it happening? No. Is it worth meriting a convo?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because everybody's talking about it. Like every Chiefs fan that I've run into recently, you think we can bring back Tyreek Hill? What do you think about Tyreek Hill? Like, people are talking about it. And that's what sports radio is all about. It's a great conversation. It's fun to talk about things. Do I think Tyreek Hill's coming back here? No, I don't think Tyreek Hill's coming back here. But you know what? The conversation is worth having because it's a micro part of a conversation that's a macro topic, and that's winning this three-peat. And where the Chiefs are right now, all hands on deck, nothing's off the table. Let's go get this third championship. How can we do it? Well, let's go see if we can find the best possible player available. And Brett Veach does his due diligence. You call Miami and you say, hey, what do you want for Tyreek Hill? Are you willing to eat 90% of his salary and we'll take him for you?
Yeah.
And so you kind of go through those channels right now. So none of it's not worth having a conversation about because it's a fun topic to have a conversation about.
We ain't the only ones.
And anybody who doesn't think it's a fun conversation, I don't want to be near you. I mean, it's fun. People forget sports is fun. And having a conversation about Tyreek Hill potentially coming back is fun. Had they not brought Kareem Hunt back, we wouldn't be talking about this. But they showed they're willing to let the past be the past to try to go out there and win football games.
Like, is it happening? Probably not.
Probably not.
Absolutely not. But it's noise.
Yeah.
Speaking of noise, we do this to a lot of people in interviews. 30 seconds each, fellas. Who's been your unsung hero so far in the first month for the Chiefs?
Well, for me, it's FriYAYYY Morris. I mean, I know he's probably not going to get a lot of credit, but I think he's solidified and stabilized that left tackle spot. I think he's been pretty good since they gave him the for now.
But this is the first month.
Yeah,
so,
first month of the season. Yeah, I think FriYAYYY Morris has been pretty good at that left tackle spot. I know we look at one or two plays and everybody freaks out and, oh my God, he's no good. And it's easier to spot a bad play by an offensive lineman than a good play because for every 10 you have one bad, everybody sees the bad play. So FriYAYYY Morris for me is the guy.
Dr. Mackenstein?
I'd go Tershawn Wharton on the defensive line.
He's
Been
been
an
good.
absolute stud.
Yep.
I mean, kind of just like a little bit shocked just out of nowhere. His just presence has just come out of nowhere to me. I feel like he's just been a really good rotational guy, but more than that, this year's just kind of stepped up to his starting role. Last year came off an injury. This year seems like he's fully back. And, with George Karlaftis kind of having a little bit, underperforming season so far, a little bit underwhelming season so far, Tershawn Wharton's been a big step up.
Yeah, and I know that the numbers probably aren't there for Karlaftis that everybody wants to see because, it's only 4 weeks into the season. He doesn't have 10 sacks yet, so let's dump all over him. But
he hasn't been what we wanted.
Well, I don't know what the answer to that question is, quite honestly. What do we want, a sack a game? Because that's not realistic.
The pressure numbers to be up.
He
gets single-teamed every time.
He took an offensive lineman right into the quarterback's lap the other night against the Chargers and whatnot. But you know what? If Karlaftis is occupying and doing things and Chris Jones is getting to the quarterback 2 or 3 times a game, I'm good with that as well.
Mine's Leo Chenal. Guys everywhere. defensively. They run him on those goal line plays where they pound the rock up the middle and try to get that 1 yard run. I've seen Leo Chenal there. He almost looked like Camilio the Jagus lining up a putt, the lizard man who would get down. Somebody was asking the other day when they were running a play, like, who is that like in an army crawl? And I was like, that's Leo Chenal, 54. And he's ready to hit somebody. On defense, he's really done his job. I don't think he gets a lot of talk. He gets enough talk. That's been more than what he probably has gotten in the past. But the dude's been my unsung hero that we don't talk enough about because Leo Chenal really closes that edge and really is the kind of guy that's like Danny Bateman from The Replacements. Go give me the ball. I'll get you the ball.
Right.
Calm down, Danny. Calm down, Leo. Bob Fescoe, Mac Morey, Dusty Likens coming on the other side. Kurt Nelson of the Royals Hall of Fame, the director of the Hall of Fame. Kurt Nelson joins the Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
Fescoe and Dusty.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, my man Dan the Tailor Man is a one-stop shop for 4 years if you have a son that is a freshman in high school, because my man Dan the Tailor Man is going to take care of his suit one time. That's all you're going to need is to buy one suit for your son when he's a freshman in high school, and it will last him his whole high school career, because my man Dan the Tailor Man offers free alterations for every suit for the life of the suit. That way, as your son grows, that suit will grow along with him. From freshman year to senior year, there's going to be a change in height, right? But you don't want to buy a new suit every fall because you're going to need a suit in high school, whether it's for homecoming dances, whether it's for the prom, whether it's for banquets. It doesn't matter. Your son is going to need a suit. So go see my man Dan the Tailor Man today, where he's been selling the best suits in Kansas City for the lowest prices ever. You're going to get the suit. You're going to get the tie. You're going to get the handkerchief. You're going to get the free alterations for the life of the suit, all for one low price. And it works that way for everybody. Whether you're a high school kid or getting married, my man Dan the Tailor Man is the only spot to go get a suit. Why rent something for your wedding when you can buy it for the same price at my man Dan the Tailor Man? So go see him today at 97th and Quivira or call and schedule that appointment, 913-541-1192. It's my man Dan the Tailor Man.
Hey, sports fans. If you like college football and you love the excitement of going for a big score with parlay wagering, then this offer from BetMGM really has legs. Introducing the College Football No Sweat Parlay Token. Apply this token to any qualifying college football parlay wager. If you don't win, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets. Log into your existing BetMGM account to receive your token. Then add a qualifying college football parlay wager to your bet slip and attach the token. You'll get your stake back in bonus bets if your parlay isn't a winner. So go deep without even breaking a sweat. Make your favorite picks from dozens of betting options and watch the games knowing you're part of the action. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Tune in this week to kick off with Boomer and Valenti to hear the Sims Spotlight featuring Super Bowl winning quarterback Phil Simms. Brought to you by Balance of Nature. Balance of Nature supplements. Changing the world one life at a time.
COVID-19 cases are on the rise, and peak flu season is almost here. Save time and get the updated COVID-19 vaccine and your flu shot at the same time at Hy-Vee. Schedule your updated COVID-19 vaccine and flu shot online today, or just stop by any Hy-Vee pharmacy whenever it's convenient for you. No appointment necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. Your Hy-Vee pharmacy is here to help you and your family stay healthy. Some restrictions apply.
What does it mean to be the official information technology provider for the Chiefs? It means everything. Technology Group Solutions makes sure everything runs flawlessly for the millions of fans that attend games and the hundreds of millions of fans that comprise Chiefs Kingdom around the world. Technology Group Solutions can deploy that same dedication, problem solving, and incredible service to ensure your business runs smoothly. Technology Group Solutions, powering Chiefs Kingdom and ready to do the same for you.
Inside the Huddle with Cody and Gold, each day from noon until 1 on 610 Sports Radio. Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue on the official radio partner of the Kansas City Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navient's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navient tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Kansas City is Sean Barber. Join me at Buffalo Wild Wings, 105th and Metcalf and Overland Park, Friday, October 4th. I'll be there with the crew from 6 to 8 p.m., celebrating the back-to-back Super Bowl champs while eating some wings and drinking $5 Bud Lights. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
For more, go to 965thefan.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side 71 northbound, slow rolling now between 87th up towards Gregory. On the Kansas side, K10 eastbound past Kill Creek Road, bridge repair over Cedar Creek, slowing things for about a mile approaching. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Tune in to Vern's On Deck Show 1 hour before first pitch on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
The 3-2 pitch. Struck him out. Kansas City, you've got a World Series. The Royals are champions of the American League. Dan Quisenberry gets the strike past Willie Randolph, and the Royals have won the American League pennant.
Willie Randolph, former Mets manager, who'd probably be losing sleep after last night's victory they had in that game.
I mean, just an incredible call by Denny Matthews from back in the day. That's 1980, beating the Yankees finally to get to that World Series for the first time in franchise history. There's nobody better to talk about it than Kurt Nelson, the Royals Hall of Fame director, who I guess you could say is a novel when it comes to the Kansas City Royals. That was the first time there getting to that World Series. Kurt, what was it like for you back in 1980 getting that final win over the Yankees, you know?
Well, the 1980 team, I've always said, is, you know, they're so close to my heart because I was 12 years old then. You do the math.
Right.
And that team, I tell those guys, I'm an odd duck in the fact that I've got to do this as a career, but they literally changed my life. And so, you know, finally beating the Yankees, you know, that was finally beating the Yankees. That was not the first time we ran across the Yankees in the postseason, but that third strike with Dan Quisenberry on the mound, who was a key player, and finally getting us to be able to beat the Yankees, and of course that great call from Denny Matthews. But yeah, that 1980 series obviously was, you know, so important in Royals history to finally win an American League pennant.
When you do go to the Royals Hall of Fame, is it like an Arthur Blank thing, like you have to induct yourself, or will somebody finally put you into the place that you built?
No, I don't know if I qualify necessarily. I'm the storyteller and tell the stories of the people that have been part of this franchise and you know, led to some of these great moments and so many interesting characters and great people. And you know, we inducted 3 people this year that I was thrilled with because of their influence on the franchise, especially the general managers, you know, that were key parts of that 1980 team. Even, you know, Cedric Tallis was general manager from 69 to 74, so he didn't see those championship series against the Yankees, but certainly was a big part of it because so many of the players that made up those teams were drafted, developed, or traded for with Cedric. And then, of course, John Sherholtz was there building the farm system in that time. And then later on with the 85 team was the general manager. So, yeah, it's very fun to be able to tell their stories.
You know, Kurt, I think what's fun to tell is the kind of the story of the Yankees and the Royals, one of the more historically significant rivalries, you know, in baseball. And it was great in the late 70s and obviously in 1980. And then it petered out because, well, the Royals didn't live up to what they needed to live up to basically for, 30 years. And the Yankees took off and did their thing. People that are kind of waking up today in their 30s and 40s probably really don't understand the significance of this series with the Yankees that's coming up. In your opinion, how significant is this Royals-Yankees ALCS from a historical perspective?
Well, it's great to look back on it for us, us that were around to be able to be part of that. You think the Royals and the Yankees played each other in 4 of 5 postseasons. And this was early on when the postseason was a thing. What we know as the postseason began with the Royals expansion in 1969. Before 1969, there was no such thing as the postseason. There was only the World Series. So when the expansion of 69 with the 4 teams, including the Royals and Kansas City, was what spurred that 69 expansion, the league split into divisions, and that's when the ALCS and NLCS, which was the beginning of the postseason, came about. So it was early on in that era that the Royals and Yankees would run across each other in 76. And, we think of that as the Royals' first entree into the postseason, which, of course, it was in a very brief history of the franchise beginning in 69. But it was new for the Yankees, too, because the last time they had been in the World Series was 1964. So it had been 12 years since the Yankees had made that. So there were basically nobody left from that team. So it was new for both of them. And they were combatants, 3 straight years in which the Yankees would beat us in 76. And, George hit a home run. And back in those days, they were 5-game series. We took it to 5 games in 76. George hit a 3-run home run in the top of the 8th at Yankee Stadium to tie that game. And then Chambliss would hit the home run, the walk-off home run to win it. And then we met up again the next year. The Royals won 102 games in 77. That time we had home field advantage and pushed it all the way to the 5th game again and had a 3-1 lead going into the 8th inning. The Yankees scored 1 in the 8th and 3 in the top of the 9th and beat us here at home. That was really a crusher. And then they beat us in 4 games in 1978. George had another great performance in that game 3. He had 3 home runs in his first 3 at-bats at Yankee Stadium, but he always says all 3 of them were solo home runs. And we ended up losing that game 6-5 and lost in 4. And then, of course, we would meet again in 1980 and have the wonderful the slaying of the dragon, I say, in 1980.
When you look at this team today versus the Yankees and you think of those 70s matchups, what are some similarities that we could see in modern time that maybe were there when, like, my dad was, my age, dying at the edge of his seat watching the Yankees just rip his soul out, which I don't think is necessarily the situation here, but are there similarities in that Yankees-Royals matchup that there might be in today's Royals matchup against the Yankees?
There's a lot of similarities to a lot of successful Royals teams, and some of that deals with the ballpark that we play in. It's different than it was then because it was artificial turf, and now it's grass, and but it's still a big ballpark. So, pitching and defense, it sounds a cliche and everything, but pitching and defense is important. Pitching and defense was important back in those days for that Royals team. You had Dennis Leonard and Paul Splittorff and Larry Gura and guys like that were pitching in the rotation. And it was very important, 76, 77, 78, we really didn't have a closer per se. And as a matter of fact, in 77, for instance, in that Game 5, when we were battling for our lives at home, trying to maintain that lead in the bottom of the 9th when the Yankees scored 3 runs to win that game, we didn't have a closer in that game. Whitey Herzog went to starting pitchers coming out of the bullpen. Dennis Leonard pitched in that 9th inning. Larry Gura pitched in that 9th inning. So he didn't really have a closer. And so that in no small way, us winning in 1980, Dan Quisenberry coming on the scene late in 1979, 1980 was his first full season. He had 33 saves, and he was key in us being able to do that. And he pitched the last 3 innings of that Game 3 sweep in New York. He pitched the last 3 innings. Wow. Back in that day, the closers pitched, and he escaped the bases-loaded, no-out jam in the 8th after George's 3-run home run that put us ahead 4-2. So in that way, you can sort of see the similarities between these teams, guys that get on base, put the bat on the ball, don't strike out a lot. and play pitching and defense, and that was key back in 1980. It's going to be key again this year.
And also, too, Kurt, I think that 1980 win over the Yankees kind of laid a little bit of a groundwork for what was going to happen in the future, right? Didn't Dick Howser get fired by the Yankees or leave the Yankees soon after that and come to Kansas City?
It's really interesting, Bob, because if you think about the 1980 season, both the Royals and the Yankees had first-year managers. Dick Howser was managing his first year for the Yankees, won 103 ball games, won the American League East. Jim Fry with the Royals wins the American League West. They meet in the ALCS. In Game 2 of that ALCS here in Kansas City, in the 8th inning, when the Royals held a slight one-run lead, and it was in the top of the 8th. Again, it was Willie Randolph. He was on first base. Bob Watson hit a shot down into the left field corner, and they tried to score Willie Randolph from first, and it was Wilson to Brett to Porter at the plate, and Willie Randolph was out at the plate, so the tying run was cut down at the plate to end the top of the 8th. The Royals would win that game and then go on and George's home run in Game 3 to win it. George Steinbrenner was so upset with that play in Game 2 that after that game, he went into the visiting clubhouse at Royal Stadium and told Dick Howser, "You have to fire your third base coach," a gentleman by name Mike Ferraro. And, of course, Dick said, "We're in the middle of a series. I am not firing the third base coach in the middle of the series." Then after they lost the series, he went to him again and said, "You're firing Mike Ferraro." And he said, "I'm not firing Mike Ferraro." He said, "Yes, you are." And Dick said, if you're asking me to fire Mike Ferrari, you're going to have to fire me." And George Steinbrenner called a press conference and said that, and Dick was there, and he said that George Steinbrenner was leaving the Yankees because he had business opportunities in Florida that he couldn't pass up. And of course, the media asked Dick about the business opportunities, and Dick says, "You'll have to ask Mr. Steinbrenner." So he fired him, and then of course, Jim Fry was the manager of the Royals at the beginning of the 81 season, but we didn't get off to a good start. The second half after the strike, we didn't get off to a good start again. So what did the Royals do? They fired Jim Fry, and they hired Dick Howser. So thank you, George Steinbrenner, for being so upset with Dick Howser in Game 2 of the ALCS in 1980, because that led the next year to Dick Howser becoming manager of the Royals. And, of course, he would lead us to the playoffs in 81. A division title in 84, and the World Series title in 85, and cement a legacy here in Kansas City. But yes, Dick Howser's career in Kansas City goes back to one play in Game 2 of the 1980 ALCS at Royal Stadium between the Yankees and Royals.
That's wild, man. Like, George Steinbrenner, fires everybody, but in the middle of a playoff series, go fire your third base coach. That's typical Steinbrenner right there. Glad he did it.
I'm glad he did it, too, because it really paid off for Kansas City. And it was, like you say, it's very Steinbrennerian to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the series against the Yankees, it's hard to believe it's been 44 years. We haven't run across them. We sort of stayed around in the playoffs for a little bit. The Yankees disappeared a little bit after 1981, and then the Yankees resurgence, and then we were gone for a long time. So there hasn't been this meeting back. It almost happened back in 15 when we played the Astros, because the Astros and Yankees had played in the wild card game. So we almost clashed in 15, but it's good to see the matchup again.
It is. Kurt, enjoy the weekend, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys.
You got it. Kurt Nelson, Hall of Fame director for the Royals, shedding some historical perspective on what this Yankees-Royals series is. And I think for the kids, our age, we're starting to understand what our fathers have talked about for years, with this Royals-Yankee matchup. Just to let you know, Foaling is offering free Foaling for listeners who arrive before 6 p.m. today. You get to Foaling between 2 and 6 today. Every Friday in October is a free Foaling Friday. Just mention you heard it here on 96.5 The Fan. They'll let you in for free. You can foal around and find out how fun foaling is every Friday in October from 2 until 6. Free foaling, and of course, world-class bar. They'll have all kinds of drink specials as well. So get into foaling today from 2 to 6. It's free, and just tell them we sent you here on 96.5 The Fan.
Coming up on the other side, an interesting stat that proves that Brett Veach is always 2 steps ahead of everyone else. I'm Dusty Like. It's Bob Fescoe, Mac Morey. This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
I'll tell you what, man, this NFL season is flying by, but you still have time to start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. And you can build a same-game parlay for this Sunday's matchup. We've got the Chiefs and Saints, actually Monday Night Football. How about Travis Kelce with an anytime touchdown? How about Kareem Hunt over the rushing yards and Patrick Mahomes over the passing yards? Just visit FanDuel.com/610Bob to make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL and of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
In business, success is never by chance. You know that better than anyone. So why settle for a marketing agency that gambles with your money? At Scale Marketing, we've been in your shoes. Our founders successfully owned and operated businesses long before becoming marketers. They understand the business of, well, business. We specialize in performance marketing for mid-sized B2C companies with teams of over 100 people, from traditional and digital marketing to media buying, data science, and creative production. Scale Marketing manages it all. Our tailored strategies drive measurable growth, turning your challenges into opportunities. Imagine your company leading the market, not just participating in it. That's what we do at Scale Marketing. Don't let your business growth plateau or underperform. Scale Marketing will pinpoint exactly what you need to focus on, ensuring your success isn't left to chance. Take your business to the next level with Scale Marketing. Visit scalemarketing.com today. That's scalemarketing.com.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm gonna have to find a new genius, or 2 half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
We hear a lot from our patients after we've successfully treated their erectile dysfunction. But one thing we hear the most is, why didn't I get treated sooner? This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED and all the emotional and relationship problems it causes, don't wait. Call us today. ED is simply a medical condition like any other, and for most men, it's fully treatable, which means you can get your sex life back. And I'm not talking about sex that's just okay, by the way. I'm talking about good sex with the ability to enjoy intimacy without the anxiety that affects so many men who have ED. In fact, you might find you're performing like you haven't in years. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated thousands of men with protocols that are successful in well over 90% of cases. And we have a variety of treatments and treatment combinations so you can get the one that's right for you. So stop waiting and call us. Your first visit includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Your coworkers might annoy you, but we promise we won't. Download the free Odyssey app and you can listen to us at work while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Tune in late? You can rewind your favorite live shows to catch what you missed. And with Chapters, easily jump to the topics that you care about most, like the latest updates from your team. Your sports talk, your way. The Odyssey app. Download it today.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
Is your vehicle stopping like it should? Does it squeal or grind when you brake? Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side 70 westbound, slow into downtown from around Truman, and it stays sluggish over towards Troost, where an earlier accident has been cleared out of the left lane. Kansas side, things move pretty well. 35 northbound trip from Olathe to downtown is 20 minutes. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Thank you to Kurt Nelson, who joined our show. Very kind gesture of him. I figured when we were doing our prep work, you mentioned his name. I said, that's a guy you got to have on. That guy was dialed in for those 70s games.
Nobody knows more about the Royals than Kurt. Nobody knows everything about the Royals other than Kurt Nelson.
I can tell you a funny story about Kurt Nelson. I don't know if it's funny, but it's the first time I met him.
Okay.
Remember when Vern would do his show in that back room at the K in the press box?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Kurt's office was back there.
No, he's in the Hall of Fame now.
Yeah, but
he had like his assistant, I think, was up there.
Yeah, and he would sit in the desk after Vern's show was done, and I knew who he was. He has a very distinct look. Like I could just pick him out of a crowd.
Right.
And we're sitting there, and Vern's talking about something, and then I remember talking about something in the past, and then he was like, "What's funny about both those stories?" And it's not like he's one-upping you, but he's just solidifying why it's important to you or why you still remember it, and like. There is some random stat about it, but it's just like I could sit there for hours. Like if you put a cooler of 24 Miller Lights next to me and said, "Okay, Kurt, 2 hours, go ahead."
Go ahead.
There'd probably be 12 to 14 gone, and I would just be that Chris Farley guy. Like you were that one time in like 1985 when the Royals won the World Series. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've done that, and I will one up you. If anything should ever happen to me, he's Jen's replacement for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not Kevin O'Connell?
No.
Okay.
No.
Keep that guy the hell away from your house.
Attainable human beings. Like Kurt is a wonderful human being, and he does an amazing job. If you haven't been out to the Royals Hall of Fame, make sure you get out there and check it out. But I would feel good if he were to take my place if anything should happen to me. So my wife's like,
I don't
Kurt's
get the
taking
nod?
your place. Now, Kurt's been my wife's friend for like 30 years now. And so she's like, if anything ever happens to you, Kurt Nelson's taking over. I'm like, perfect. I'm good with that.
Fair enough. I bet he's getting ready for the Red River Shootout next week.
Oh, yes, he is. Big Oklahoma guy, yeah.
Oh, he's a Sooner?
Okay,
gotcha.
Brad, baby.
Yeah, Boomer Sooner.
Yeah, he's been there since day one with the Sooner fandom. So I'm sure
he
he's
suffered the John Blake year.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to ask him a question about the guy that never was. I forget what his name is. It was
Bob Hamlin?
No, it's the 30 for 30. Gosh, was it Dupree? Is that his name?
Yeah, Bud Dupree. No, Marcus Dupree.
Marcus Dupree.
Yeah,
the
Marcus
best that ever was.
Dupree. Yeah.
Still one of the best 30 for 30s I've ever seen.
You think that was, huh?
It's top three.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's top.
I haven't seen that one. I'll have to watch that
Oh,
one.
it's great. Yeah, you'll find out how much of a Richard, which we'll do Richard of the Week at 9 o'clock. You'll find out how much of a Richard Barry Switzer was.
Yeah, wow. I mean, back in those days, yeah.
Yeah, just a total red ass.
Yep.
But no, thanks to Kurt Nelson for the time. We'll have George Brett. That's right. George Brett at 8 o'clock. We'll have Jay Binkley at 9 o'clock at the round table. I know he is amped.
I told you he canceled his hip surgery to come in for the round table today.
Dedication for your boys.
It really is, man. It really is. I was talking to our guys on WWL radio in New Orleans yesterday, and they wanted to know all about this Chiefs team. And we kind of started talking about the defensive side of this thing. And I told them yesterday on the radio, Dusty, that, we should have all seen the defensive style of football coming. Last night's game withstanding, right, with 500 yards passing or whatever it was for Kirk Cousins, that we should have all seen this kind of shifting from an offensive standpoint to a defensive standpoint in the NFL, because for the last 2 years, where's Brett Veach been drafting, right? He's been drafting first-round players on the defensive side of the football. Karlaftis and McDuffie. Then you had FAU. And it's like when Brett Veach starts doing stuff, in 2 years, that's going to be the trend in the NFL. And he was ahead of this trend, because I think defenses right now in this league are crazy. I mean, through the first, 4 weeks of the NFL season, just 15 times as a quarterback thrown for over 300 yards, 16 going into last night's game now. And so defenses have really, really started to take over and really started to be prominent. But I don't think anybody should be shocked. Brett Veach was doing this 2 years ago when he started loading up on the defensive side of the football. You got Leo Chenal, you got Karlaftis, you got McDuffie, Justin Reed coming in, Bolton a couple of years ago, and then FAU coming in. Like, they've really loaded up on the defensive side of the football. And lo and behold, look how important defense is now in the NFL.
You speak of stories and powerful people that can get me to drink 24 Millers. I might have to go to Hy-Vee real quick for our next guest that joins the show here to tell us all about these Chiefs.
He's been the voice of Chiefs Kingdom since 1994.
Damian Williams, 20, stays in bounds, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Kansas City, Damian Williams runs to immortality.
Here's Mitch Holtis on your new home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan.
That's right. Mitch Holtis joins us every Friday at 7:25. It is brought to you by Silverstein Eye Centers. Achieve your best vision and experience outstanding patient care at Silverstein Eye Centers. Brought to you also by GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Mitch, I'm just going to tell you, man, feed me, baby. I'm ready. Blue Friday, Red Friday. I'm hungry. I'm revved up, thirsty, and ready to drown.
Let's go. Get the bunt down. Rally on two. I'll use Dane and Hughes. Go get it. Hit somebody in the mouth.
Right.
All of that. Let's go. Monday Night Football. Yankees. Let's take them on. Let's sweep them too.
I mean,
so, yeah, I'm with you, Dusty. Fired up, buddy.
You're fired up and you're ready to go, but you're also fired up about these boys in blue, right? How about the Royals advancing to the next round of the postseason?
Way cool. And actually, I texted Ryan Lefevre last night and told him it was just so exciting. I was working. I'm kind of watching over the shoulder and listening over the shoulder and doing the normal work. But I told Ryan, he's as good. He might be better on the radio. He's great on TV, but he's awesome on the radio.
Fantastic.
And he just brings an element of excitement to it. That to get that done, get a 30-game improvement, and now go to New York with zero fear is really kind of fun. The thing I would tell you too, though, is the Royals proved my point. You guys, and Bob, you know this, the Royals proved my point. How thrilling was a 1-0 and a 2-1 victory?
Great.
So why in football do we discount the Chiefs for winning an NFL record 10 games in a 10-game winning streak with the slimmest margin of all time in NFL history, or tying an NFL record of 7 straight games of winning by 7 points or less, and thinking that's a point of weakness? If you don't win in football 41-7, I think it's a fantasy football thing.
Yep.
But still, in baseball, it's a thrilling 1-0 victory. You're like waiting on every little pitch, every big pitch. But the Chiefs have done that now and won a Super Bowl wrapped around winning games just like those 2 games over Baltimore.
Yeah.
It's just the psychology of the game.
Well, I think also, too, Mitch, and I've been telling this to anybody who will listen recently, I still think people are living in 2018 where they think Patrick Mahomes is 50 and 5,000, and that's what's going to happen. But this league, as we just talked about before you jumped on, it's kind of shifted now to a defensive side where you got just as good of athletes, if not better, playing on the defensive side of the football now over the last couple of years, not all on the offensive side of the football. And so I just think people have amnesia. They saw their first impression of Patrick Mahomes in 2018 and expected it to be that way every year since. And quite frankly, it's not even close to 2018.
Or I'm going to lose my fantasy football league of $300 to Bruno and Todd down there. I'm so mad because I've taken my guys that I love and they're not winning my fantasy league.
Right.
That's part of this too. We joke about it, but there's an element of reality to fantasy in that regard. So, but the fact that the Chiefs have figured out ways to win and win closely is the exact parallel to the Royals sweeping the Orioles.
You there?
I'm here.
All right, you went through a dead zone. That's okay. We're just making sure you're still alive.
Love it.
All right, so yeah, we've got ourselves a game on Monday night, so kind of cool the Jets for an extra day. The Saints are 2-2, but aren't they better than that?
This is a 4-0 team in 2-2 clothing. The Saints are so close to being 4-0. Their 2 losses, it's 3-0 in the fourth quarter against Philadelphia, and the Eagles get a long Saquon Barkley run to win in the last minute. And then New Orleans has got to be going, how did we even lose to Atlanta? A muff punt, Rashid Shaheed muffs a punt, skanks a punt, and it's a touchdown for Atlanta. That's one Atlanta touchdown. The other one is they've got a screen perfectly set up. The Saints have a screen perfectly set up to the left side of the field. Oh, tip pass goes right into the hands of the Falcon linebacker, who's actually out of position, and there's nobody around to tackle him because they're all on the other side of the field trying to set up the screen. That's the 2 touchdowns they lost on against Atlanta. This New Orleans team is second in they're best in red zone defense in the league. They're nasty on defense. Offensively, the second on third down, and offensively, the second in red zone touchdown percentage on offense. This is a good team, not a 2-2 team. You got to think like this is 2 4-0 teams playing.
Mitch, you get an old friend, or I guess an old foe. Derek Carr comes to town. Looks like he's kind of revamped his season this year. Not his career. I don't want to say that he's had a stable career, but he gets to play this defense. He gets to go up against Spags, and it's the red wall against those high-flying Saints. Alvin Kamara gets to try to do what nobody else has done against this Chiefs team, try to run, and Derek Carr gets to try to do something that no one really else gets to do, is try to throw against this defense. So I'm interested to know what you think about Derek Carr coming to Kansas City again, but in a different colored uniform.
In my study of Derek Carr this week and what's gone on in New Orleans, Dusty, whatever you think of Derek Carr to this point, 3-14 against the Chiefs, blah, 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 forget it. They tried to reinvent Derek Carr. And if he was taking Calc 2 before, they've reduced it down to college algebra for him. The Saints fired their entire offensive staff. Where did they go? San Francisco. They started to poach San Francisco offensive staff guys. Clint Kubiak is the new offensive coordinator. And so what Clint Kubiak has tried to do, they're trying to make Derek Carr into Brock Purdy and reduce the package for him, reduce his mistakes. Completion percentage goes way up. They're so unique, though, in the way they approach NFL offensive football. The big key here is, will Taysom Hill be healthy? Taysom Hill is a menace. He can line up as a tight end, a slot, a halfback, a quarterback, a tight end. He'll play defense and special teams. If Taysom Hill is out, it's a big deal. But there's more here than Alvin Kamara as well, who's like a double-double waiting to happen in both receiving and running. I mentioned Rashid Shaheed. Super underrated, lightning fast, very Xavier-worthy speed-like, and then Chris Olave's a weapon. But they've reduced the package for Derek Carr to eliminate his mistakes and make those other guys I just mentioned all the more effective.
Also, Tyrann Mathieu coming home, if you will, to Kansas City and returning here. Obviously, Willie Gay would be, but he's banged up a little bit. So there are some familiar faces that we're going to see on Monday night.
Is this alumni weekend?
Yes.
I mean, there's more. Colin Saunders is on this team, and he's playing at a very high level. He's playing great for them. You mentioned Willie Gay Jr. and Tyrann Mathieu. Tano Passanio is on injured reserve. He's hurt and won't be back for a while. But there's other local dudes on this team. Christian Boyd, who's a Blue Springs Wildcat, backs up Colin Saunders on the defensive line. Their kicker is a dude named Blake Groupie, who's from Sedalia, Missouri, Smith Cotton High School, who played his last year at Notre Dame. He was at Arkansas State prior to that. He actually beat the Chiefs in a walk-off field goal in his first ever pro game in the last year's preseason. There's all these local ties. I've been looking at the Saints scouting staff of like, well, who's going after our guys who knows this area. Nathan Shepard is on this team. Defensive line, plays right next to Colin Saunders. He's a Fort Hays State Tiger in the MIAA. And they've also got a Pitt State kid on this team that started at Southern Illinois. He's a DB. I'm going to get his name here in a second. Rico Payton. All these local ties. I mean, there's like 10 guys on this team that have a tie one way or another to the Chiefs Kingdom.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's a lot of dudes on one team coming back to Kansas City. Offensively, obviously, Rashee Rice's injury changes a lot. What is Andy Reid going to do? Going to get back to the shop and get things moving in the right direction?
This is where Andy Reid goes to his tool shed. And I feel like we're back at the beginning of 2022 just because of necessity. And what's he going to do and how's he going to do it? And it's going to be everybody. People say, gosh, with Rice out, Brown out, Pops out, I mean, you can extrapolate this. That's about 2,800 yards and about 15 touchdowns if you want to get serious about it. So where does all that come from? And I'm going to tell you, from everybody. Wiley's got to get involved to tie it in. Gray's got to be a little bit better. They get Kels up and running. All three of those running backs are going to have impact and don't fumble the ball. That's a good idea. And the receivers, and then take your pop when you can with Xavier Worthy. But don't take any of them on fantasy. It's going to take them all, and it's going to take you got to stay away from the turnovers, right? Way too many turnovers. -4. Here's one of your stats in the morning. Chiefs are -4 in the giveaway takeaway, and they're 4-0.
That's wild.
The teams that wild. Here's another wild one. If you're -2 or more in this league, the combined record of those teams are 12-20.
Wow.
The Chiefs are 4-0. So look at the difference there. The Saints, told you they're nasty. They love to punch the ball out. They've got 8 takeaways in 4 games. They're +3 in the giveaway takeaway. They punch it out. They intercept it. They've got a nickel back that's got 3.5 sacks. They're aggressive. They want to rip your flesh off. They're very similar to the Charger defense. This is game on, boys, all the way through. This isn't going to be a pretty game. You're going to have to slug it out and grind another one out like a 1-0 Royals win.
Mitch, speaking of fantasy, we had a discussion earlier this week that it'd be awesome to see Diddy Matthews do a Chiefs game and you do a Royals game. Any idea when you might want to do that in your future?
I'm all in. I'm so in for that. Denny played football at Illinois Wesleyan. He was a wide receiver, so it's not like he's going to be having a foreign language.
Right.
But I'm all in. In fact, Ryan, when I've been in the booth with them on TV, goes, "Hey, just take over a half inning," and I didn't do it. But I will at some point. Yeah, I'm all about that. Yes, for sure.
And Denny would do something like this, we think. Mahomes, Kelsey for 89 yards, gone. Travis Kelsey, touchdown, right?
No outs to go.
Yeah. And if Lucas Irsay got a save, you would just say, and Lucas Irsay put the hammer down in Kansas City. I would feel like that.
Well, the Royals are gargling the sweet nectar of the end zone and champagne in the locker room with Viz Queen and goggles on.
That's right.
I like it.
That's right.
I call me a Salvador Perez home run, Mitch.
Right now, I can't do it. I'd blow a hamstring. I'd be out for the game. I got to warm up.
That's right.
Well, you warm up on Monday night as you're keeping one eye on the Royals game. And if you have to be Kevin Harlan in this one and start calling both games, feel free to do so. We have the rights to both, so it's cool.
You know what? I just might do that.
There you go. Well, Mitch, have a great call. Enjoy the game.
And God.
That's right. Mitch, have a good one on Monday night, baby. I know you get Mitch Holtis. Mitch Holtis brought to you by Silverside Eye Centers. Achieve your best vision and experience outstanding patient care at Silverside Eye Center. Brought to you also by GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Coming up on the other side, speaking of announcers, we got a good one here, and I think they're going to be a little biased towards your boys in blue. We'll talk about that on the other side. Bob Fescoe, Dusty Likens, Mac Moore. Listening to Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, guys. Dusty Likens here from 96.5 The Fan. I want to talk to you about something that maybe you're afraid to talk to somebody about because, well, you might be insecure. You might not want to do it. You don't have to listen to me. You choose to listen to me because you want to. And I want to help you because erectile dysfunction can cause an emotional toll in relationships and impacts a man's confidence and self-esteem, which are the true tragedies of erectile dysfunction. ED is simply a medical condition like any other. And for most men, it's fully treatable, which means you can get your sex life back and that confidence back and get rid of all those insecurities. Go talk to my people at Heartland Men's Health. Schedule a consult with a Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised test dose, and if the test dose does not work in the office, your visit is free. They have an expert staff, and if you are like a lot of men, I'm talking to you, could be having sex just a day after your appointment. They have 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Kansas; Independence, Missouri, between Blue Springs and Lee Summit; and their new office in North Kansas City. So call them today at 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
When Google Fiber first launched 1 gig.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
It's a Red Friday on 96.5 The Fan, and the other place is your sports watching headquarters this fall. Now with 5 great area locations: Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, Mission, and Belton. Enjoy Red Friday specials all day.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Everyone develops cataracts naturally as they get older. When your vision is affected by cataracts, you should see my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein at Silverstein Eye Centers. Dr. Silverstein is a world-renowned cataract surgeon who performs life-changing laser-assisted cataract surgery with premium lens implants to correct your vision up close and far away. Trust my eye doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein, Silverstein Eye Centers, 816-358-3600 to schedule an appointment.
You could be on the 50 at GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Enter to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
When Google Fiber first launched 1 gig internet right here in Kansas City, it cost $70. Cut to today. Over 10 years later, 1 gig internet still costs the same, $70. That's what you get with Google Fiber. Fast, reliable internet with simple, straightforward monthly billing. No data caps, no annual contracts, no hidden fees. Just a small local fee for the city on top of your flat, predictable price. Go beyond good enough. Go beyond fiber. Sign up today at fiber.google.com.
COVID-19 cases are on the rise, and peak flu season is almost here. Save time and get the updated COVID-19 vaccine and your flu shot at the same time at Hy-Vee. Schedule your updated COVID-19 vaccine and flu shot online today, or just stop by any Hy-Vee pharmacy whenever it's convenient for you. No appointment necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. Your Hy-Vee pharmacy is here to help you and your family stay healthy. Some restrictions apply.
Truck drivers, don't wait until 2025 to find a more reliable career. At Schneider, you'll enjoy reliable freight, a consistent schedule, the home time you want, and top quality driver support. No matter what kind of driving job or home time you're looking for, we have an opportunity for you. Plus, by driving for one of America's busiest carriers, you'll stay busy throughout the holiday season and into the new year. Don't wait. Search jobs near you and apply now at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
This is an ad by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Hey everyone, it's Boomer Esiason. What's something that you've always wanted to learn? An instrument, a new language, how not to burn pasta. Whether it's big or small, imagine how great it would feel to finally do it. As kids, we're always learning and growing, but as adults, sometimes we lose that curiosity that made life feel so exciting. So it's easy to think that we are who we are and we can't change. But BetterHelp is here to tell you that it's never too late to be who you want to be. Therapy can help you reconnect with your sense of wonder because your back-to-school era can come at any age. BetterHelp makes it easy to get started with affordable phone, video, or live chat sessions you could do from anywhere, and the option to message your therapist between sessions if anything comes up. So why not rediscover possibility with BetterHelp? Visit BetterHelp.com/Boomer today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Boomer.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side 29 southbound slowing from Armour into downtown. It gets very heavy crossing the Bond Bridge. It stays very slow as you make your way up towards the downtown loop. There's an accident right before downtown in the center lane causing this delay. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Line drive, left field, base hit to the corner. Let's see if they try to score Randolph. Wilson up with the ball. He gets it into Brett. Brett turns and fires to the plate, and he is going to be out at the plate.
That's right. Game 2, 1980 ALCS. Royals-Yankees.
That's the play Kurt Nelson was talking about, that George Steinbrenner wanted the Yankee manager Dick Hauser at the time to fire the third base coach, and he wouldn't do it, and Hauser ended up getting fired, and the Royals ended up hiring him. And so there's bad blood between the Yankees and Royals that dates back before I was even born on this planet. 1976, 77, 78, and 80, the Royals finally exact that revenge. We'll talk to George Brett coming up in about 15 minutes, and he can shed some light on it. And as you were playing those highlights, I'm watching on X, formerly Twitter, as they like to call it, and I just did a retweet of this so everybody can see it. There's about a 2.5-minute video out there of Royals-Yankees highlights from the 70s.
It's awesome.
It is really, really good. So if you go to X and you want to watch, it's about 2.5 minutes, goes fast, and it ends with George getting up in nettles and fighting each other at third base and just dusting each other off and going back to the game. And, you forget or you don't know. And I think for most of us, it's we really just don't know what that magnitude was back in the late 70s and 80s. We only heard it about through our dads, like when I was growing up, my dad was like, it's the Royals and Yankees, Royals and Yankees, Royals and Yankees. And everybody here still hates the Yankees who are old enough to remember that. And those of us who aren't really old enough to remember that, it's trickled down, and you just have that kind of feeling like you don't like the Yankees because your dad or maybe your grandpa at this point in time told you you're not supposed to like the Yankees. But the historical significance, Dusty, of this series is really, really big. I know the Mets and Phillies is going to take a lot of attention. The Dodgers and Padres is going to have a lot of attention. I don't think the Tigers and Indians are going to have a lot of attention. But this Yankee-Royal series is like baseball at its purest. Back when everybody was on the same level playing field and everybody had a chance, and we didn't have these exorbitant salaries and spends like we see today that separates the haves from the have-nots. That's back when baseball was really America's pastime, and everybody was watching the Royals and Yankees. These were big games back then.
Somebody brings up a funny text about that play. So it's funny, in addition to the story, my grandfather was sitting behind Steinbrenner for that out at home. Says he got up after saying every cuss word under his breath and was mad as hell.
That's great. That's a great story. Like, that's really, really cool. And you can see George Steinbrenner doing that. I mean, that was back in the day when he was firing guys and, trading players and hiring FBI agents to follow players around allegedly. Like, I mean, he was nuts. He was absolutely nuts. But I think anybody would tell you they'd rather have an owner like George Steinbrenner any day of the week because he was willing to spend that money and go out there. And we can ask George about it, but how many times the Yankees tried to offer him money to go play in New York, and he wouldn't take the Yankees' money? I'm not taking that. I'm a Royal. I'm staying in Kansas City. And that's why George Brett became the greatest Royal of all time and became a lifelong, member of this community and one of the great ambassadors that the Kansas City Royals in this town has ever seen. So I'll be excited to talk. I haven't talked to George about the Royals and Yankees in a long time.
Right.
But the venom and the hatred is going to be spewing coming up in about 10 minutes.
And I think what's great about this weekend is that Costas is going to be on the call. And I know there's some people that have their opinions of Bob Costas. He's not the same that he used to be.
Right.
But that's the best part, is what he used to be and what he is. He's a very knowledgeable baseball person. He's a very sports knowledgeable person. And you think he's the perfect person to broadcast for these Yankees and Royals games coming up in the ALDS.
I'd be rolling torpedoes, get blunted with Rostas for a hefty fee I'm on your record, like Bob Costas.
Spitting bars.
Yeah, he really is.
Spitting bars, boy.
I saw it come out yesterday. Okay, Costas and Ron Darling. And Ron Darling, if you haven't watched any Met games on the package, he's fantastic. So he's going to be great on the call. And I thought about Bob Costas, and my initial reaction was, trademark pending, was Really? Bob Costas. All right. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? Actually, Bob Costas is the perfect broadcaster for this series because of that historical perspective. He's going to be able to tell that historical perspective better than anybody else, better than a John Shambi or whoever else are calling these games. And that's no knock on those guys that are calling these games, or better than, Brian Anderson is the other TBS announcer. And I love Brian Anderson. I think he's really, really good at everything he does. But he wasn't there in the 70s. Bob Costas lived through all of this stuff. Bob Costas was, our age in the 70s when this kind of stuff was going on, working in broadcasting, covering Major League Baseball, a part of this kind of stuff. And the historic significance of this series, I think, is a big part of what we're going to see. And to have Bob Costas on TV, to be able to tell guys like us who really weren't alive in the late 70s and early 80s what this series was like and what some of those moments are like, I think is very important. And I think they hit a home run by having Bob Costas do the series. At first, I was like, and then I started to think about big picture, and I'm like, you know what? The history of this series is so important for everybody to understand, and there's going to be nobody better that can tell that story than Bob Costas, one of the great storytellers of all time.
Speaking of stories, we'll hear from George Brett in about 8 minutes here on 96.5 The Fan. You'll be tuned in for that because there's nobody that hates the Yankees more than George Brett, and there's no one that hates George Brett more than Yankees fans. I can guarantee you that.
Yep.
He is their John Elway.
Right.
They are his Oakland Raiders, Vegas Raiders, Angeles Raiders, whatever you want to call them. I'm interested to ask you, would you rather have Bobby Witt on that 1980s team, or would you rather have George Brett on this 2024 team?
This team.
Yeah.
Yeah, George Brett in his prime on this team, playing third base with
George and Bobby
Jr.
are there.
Oh, my
Good
God.
But you'd have Bobby
God.
you'd have Bobby and George in the 80s.
Yeah, but
so it's kind of like the same question. Yeah, true.
I'm living now.
Our fathers might be like, well, yours might be like, I don't want to see Bobby Witt Jr. anywhere near that. I mean, I'm not saying he's a Yankees fan, but I'm saying like, my dad would just say yes for sure.
Yeah.
But no, I think Bob Costas is great for this because I don't think there's any bias from Bob. I think that he will give it how it is. I don't think you'll have people complaining like they did about Joe Buck and Madison Bumgarner. Maybe you will. I don't know. You can't please everybody. We obviously know that in this world. But I do love that Costas is here because, like, I've always been a Bob Costas fan, and I've never really had to, like, kind of endure him during a game of importance for me. Now, maybe I'm missing one, but I don't think I am.
You talking about like a Kansas City game that Bob Costas was on the mic for? Yeah, I don't know that.
Off the top of my head, I'm sure there's somebody that knows that, there was a Chiefs game he did. But I mean, I remember when he would do like the little halftime report, like the Costas report at halftime, and it was like just something that maybe you weren't thinking about in the world of sports, or there was a story that was newsworthy but also had sports ties to it. But this is one where like nobody knows who the Royals are outside of Kansas City.
Right.
Like, you know who Bobby Witt Jr. is. You might know who Salvador Perez is, but you don't know anybody. And New York, a lot of people know about New York. Jazz Chisholm, Stanton, Judge, Soto, Garrett Cole. And Bob Costas is going to let people know who the hell the Royals are.
Yeah,
and that's one of the best guys to let people know who they are. And he just has that Nance, that nice, smooth delivery, and I can't wait to hear him talk about Bobby Witt Jr.
Well, and I also think, too, Bob Costas, the last time he called a Yankee playoff series was about 2 years ago, and he got ripped pretty good. And it came out and admitted he wasn't good behind the microphone in that playoff series the last time he called playoff baseball. So I don't want to call this a redemption tour for Bob Costas, but I think we're going to get Bob Costas at his best.
Okay.
And I think Bob Costas has learned that, like, sometimes the stories you got to get quicker through because now we got a pitch clock. There's not enough time to sit there and tell those stories. But I do think he needs to work in those stories because of, like I said, the historical significance of this thing. So I hope we get a good blend of stories, but I also think we're going to get Bob Costas at his best. I think he kind of is on that revenge tour to let everybody know, hey, I didn't do so good the last time out, but you know what? I've got an opportunity to go ahead and redeem myself. And I think when this series is all said and done, I think people in Kansas City are going to appreciate Bob Costas a lot more. And I think he's going to have himself one hell of a series. And I think we're very lucky to have him on the series. He's the perfect guy to call Royals and Yankees.
No doubt about it. Baseball coverage on 96.5 The Fan is presented by T-Mobile. Switch to T-Mobile and you can get tons of benefits and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Use our savings calculator to find out how at T-Mobile.com/switch. The greatest Royals player of all time joins us on the other side, George Brett, here on 96.5 The Fan on a show we call Fescoe and Dusty, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
All right, the number one question in Kansas City for everybody is, where are we going to park? Well, when you go to the airport, I've got the answer for you. It's simple. You're going to park at Park and Go. They have covered parking for everybody. Every spot at Park and Go is covered, so you never have to worry about your car being out in the elements or being undercover or getting snow on it or anything like that. You'll never come home from a winter vacation or winter trip and have to clean the snow off your car, because at Park and Go, your car is protected. And also at Park and Go, they make it so easy for you, the traveler. Everybody wants to reduce stress when they travel, and Park and Go does all of that. You make your reservation online at bookparkandgo.com. I do it as soon as I make my flight reservation. I also prepay. That way, I know I'm getting their lowest rate, because when you prepay at Park and Go, that's their lowest possible rate. Then you show up on the day of your flight, and you got nothing to worry about. Just give them the reservation number. They'll tell you exactly where to park. You pull in, and the van meets you right before you get out of your car. It's there right away, and it takes you to the airport terminal. Then when you get back, grab your bags, walk outside, and the bus is waiting. Just jump on it, and you're right back to your car. Park and Go is phenomenal. So do what we did and join their frequent parker program and earn points towards free parking. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. The best deals in parking. Bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family owned and operated.
The Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and our two soccer teams, the Current and St. Louis City SC, are all endorsing Amendment 2. Here's why you should support it too. Right now, Missouri sports fans are taking their money and placing their bets in Kansas and Illinois. We're losing our money to other states, money that could be invested in our schools. Amendment 2 fixes that. By legalizing sports betting, Amendment 2 will generate over $100 million for Missouri schools over the next 5 years. And there's a strong constitutional guarantee ensuring the revenue from sports betting will go to education. Kansas and Illinois know sports betting is a winner for their fans and taxpayers. It's time for Missouri to get into the game. Amendment 2 means over $100 million for Missouri schools. Join the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, Current, and St. Louis City SC in supporting Amendment 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Well, it's an election year, so everybody's talking about trust. Talk is cheap. Trust is earned. This is Gene at House of Diamonds. And just like it's better to judge candidates by their history instead of their promises, the same is true for jewelers. The guys who once sold lab diamonds for thousands of dollars with a straight face are now literally giving them away, and want you to trust them when they say this month's once-in-a-lifetime sell is better than last month's, or that there's such a thing as free financing. Look, trust is earned over time. In our case, over 30 years, and is as precious as the real diamonds, gemstones, and custom jewelry here at House of Diamonds. It's why we still personally design and handcraft all the custom jewelry we sell. Trust is earned by delivering on promises and exceeding expectations. That's what we do every day at House of Diamonds. House of Diamonds on the southeast corner of College and Quivira.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Visit eatandys.com to find the location nearest you. Top your day with a smile.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a pick six, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game. And tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The support brought to you by Peters Clothiers, Missouri side 29 southbound, pretty heavy. You hit delays past Parvin, and it stays very slow all the way down to the downtown loop. There's an accident just before I-70 that was blocking the center lane and built those delays. The best of the best event at Peters Clothiers is this Friday and Saturday only. Select from the best designers in the world, such as Samuelson, the best value in custom clothing, to Cloth by Zania, the best fabric for sports coats. Come in to Peters Clothiers, 124th and State Line. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
You can listen to the play-by-play of the Chiefs and Saints game with Mitch, Danon, and Kling right here on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Now Brett steps in. Gossie's ready to pitch. Swinging a high fly ball. deep right field. There she goes. Home run. Home run by Brett. And the Royals lead 4-2. George Brett hit it in the upper deck off Gossage, and the Royals lead.
Boy, you can hear the silence there of that Yankee Stadium crowd as George Brett is rounding the bases. That Game 3 of the ALCS in 1980. Hey, we're going to give you an opportunity to win Jerry Seinfeld and Jim Gaffigan tickets for the final time this week. When you hear that Seinfeld sounder and you're caller number 7, you're going to win a pair of tickets to go see Jerry Seinfeld and Jim Gaffigan at T-Mobile Center January 18th. Tickets on sale now at AXS.com.
Now joined here by George Brett, Royals Hall of Famer, Baseball Hall of Famer, Best Third Baseman Hall of Famer, all of those things, all in one. George, welcome to the show. We appreciate the time. How are you doing today, my man?
Well, I'm doing good, but I'm curious to hear what the Seinfeld deal is. What's he doing in Kansas City?
Yeah, him and Jim Gaffigan are coming January 18th. You want to go?
I might be in Arizona then, but if I'm in town, I mean, what does he do? Is it just stand-up comedy?
Yeah, it's like an hour stand-up. He'll do an hour. Gaffigan will do an hour. You'll laugh your ass off and have a good time.
Oh, sounds good. I love the show.
Yeah.
George, I've got a free ticket. You can be my +1, and I'll buy all the Coors Lights.
I don't know. I'm not going to fly in for it, but I don't know.
I've been
good in New York right now. I love that intro that you do. I could hear that 100 times a day and never get.
Yeah, I've been let down in easier ways.
And I hope I get to hear something like that tonight. Or tomorrow night.
So you're rounding those bases in 1980. Do you still remember that feeling of rounding the bases? And you may be the only guy, in the last 40 years to silence a crowd like that, Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, it was. Just the anticipation. It was so loud when I walked up and in the anticipation, and then so quiet when I touched home plate. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was an amazing feeling. It really was.
When you look at the rivalry too, George, 44 years since this thing has played, right? It's been a long time. And for you guys in the 70s, 44 years, right, my friend?
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Right? 44 years when you say it out loud.
About it. Just think about this. If you're 39 years old going to the game tonight and you live in New York, you weren't even born yet.
Right.
That's crazy.
I know.
That's great. Absolutely crazy.
I wasn't even born in for the first one. So, and I was 1 for the second one and 2 for the third one. So I have no recollection of this,
Yeah.
But just getting back to playing the Yankees now in the postseason, how cool is this for this historical rivalry to kind of get revived again?
Well, you said it was 43 years ago. There's nobody playing on the game that was alive when that happened, So, it's great. It's absolutely mind-boggling to me. And you go back to 76. How many years is that? Because I hit that home run in 80.
Right.
So some of the coaches weren't even born yet when all that stuff was going on. So I think right now there isn't a Royal-Yankee rivalry. I would love to start one right now, tonight or tomorrow. And but it's going to bring back a lot of memories. It would. I'd love to be here right now with Tom McRae and Frank White and Amos Otis and Willie Wilson and go out there and play. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So we're going to have to score some runs. I know that our pitching's been great, and the pitching's been great in all the playoff games thus far. You get your number 1, number 2 guys going usually, and it's all been pitching matches pretty much to say, but we're going to have to go up against one of their best and Garrett Cole. And, Walker's been great all year, and then we get Cole Reagan again. So hopefully win 1 out of 2 here, if not 2, and come back to Kansas City. It'll be amazing to me to see the crowds in Kansas City.
George.
It'll be amazing. It'll be just absolutely crazy when the Yankees come back to town in October.
Sorry about that. George, I have to ask you this, though. Which hit felt better, that home run off Goose or that punch you hit Nettles with at third?
Well, the punch I hit Nettles at third hurt my hand a little bit. The home run I hit off Goose, I didn't feel a thing. I hit it right on the sweet spot of the bat and just heard a big crack. And like Goose, he and I have become really good friends over the years. Obviously, never said a word to him the whole time I played against him, but since then, 40 years have gone by, and we, he comes to Arizona every year, and we have mutual friends. We play golf together, we have dinner together, we laugh. But he said that's the loudest crack of the bat that he ever heard in his life. So it was one of the farthest balls I ever hit in the most meaningful time in my career.
Talking with George Brett here on 96.5 The Fan. And, Dusty brought up the punch to Nettles. I've watched that I don't know how many times this week. It's still remarkable to me that nobody was ejected during that. You guys, punched each other, dusted each other off, shook hands, and went on with the game. In today's game, you're not seeing anything like that.
No, I mean, you would get suspended. I didn't even get fined. He didn't even get fined. And it was just, it's crazy. And, I've seen some lead-ins to this, trying to build up the Royals-Yankee rivalry. And I saw they showed Hal McRae sliding into Willie Randolph at second base. They showed Greg Nettles not even sliding, just knocking Frank White on his ass at second base, breaking up a double play. And they show that. And it just shows that back then the game was a lot different. I mean, you can't even run over catchers anymore. We used to do that all the time, but that's the way the game was played. And it was really played at a higher level when we played the Yankees, especially in playoff time, because it means so much. We didn't like them. They didn't like us. And you were out for blood. Lou Piniella was a teammate of mine when I first came up. And I remember there was a play at third base in New York, and the throw, Lou was going first to third on a base hit to center field, and the throw was about 5 feet wide towards the outfield. I went over and got it. It was about 2 feet wide. I wasn't even standing on the base. I wasn't even going to try to tag him. And the next thing you know, he slides into third, and spikes come flying out sideways to try to spike me. And he and I were teammates, but that's the way the game was played, and I would love to see that intensity today from both teams. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
George, what do you like about the Royals in this matchup versus this Yankee team that does have, of course, it's just a juggernaut of a lineup. It's 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2020s, it's the same Yankees team, but you take in a Royals team that's a surprise to the league, but maybe not a surprise to George Brett.
Well, they are very resilient. They haven't swung the bats well in the playoffs thus far. We've scored 3 runs, but we're able to win 2 games. And we all know the Yankees can hit home runs, and they got Judge and they got Soto, and we just got to. If we can score some runs early, I think we'll put them back on their heels a little bit. I think when we start scoring runs, we run the bases better, we steal more bases. But when you're not scoring runs, it's kind of hard to be that aggressive on the bases. But if we could score a couple runs early today, I think you're going to see a lot of guys relax, come out. And the way I look at it, there's so much pressure on the Yankees, and there's no pressure on the Royals. There's none. We won 56 games last year, lost 106. We just beat Baltimore, who won 101 games last year. I don't know how many they won this year, but just beat them twice, and now we come into Yankee Stadium. And I'll say this honestly, I was praying that we would get a chance to play the Yankees, somehow get in that matchup or that pool where we wouldn't have to play Cleveland or Detroit. We got to play the Yankees.
Yeah,
I'm cherishing every minute. I'm going to the workout today at 2:00, and I'll be there to the workout, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of media there, and they're going to be, going crazy. But, I like our chances. I really do, just because the team plays one out at a time, one pitch at a time. They don't get down when things are going bad, and they've been pretty resilient all year long. We've had 2 long losing streaks of 6 and 7 games. But besides that, they've played competitive. They're a great defensive club, and they got great pitching in the bullpen. I mean, God, the bullpen has been so good. And, Walker go 5 or 6, and they got so many options out there in the bullpen to go to. And I'm just kind of looking forward to the series here in New York.
I think the Royals match up great with the Yankees, George. I think the starting pitching for the Royals has just been superb all season long. It has been as good as you can get from a consistency standpoint, maybe better than anybody else in baseball. And back to your pressure point, I think there's more pressure on Aaron Judge to win in New York, more so than there is on maybe any other athlete that I could ever remember, because Judge wears that C. He's never led his team to a championship, and unless you do that in New York, you're not considered great. And I just think Aaron Judge is playing with the weight of an entire city on his shoulders. And when you have that weight on your shoulders and that pressure, it doesn't always work out good,
Yeah, well, the Yankees were in the playoffs last year, weren't they?
No, they were not. They were in 2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago, but he did not have a good series, did he?
Right.
Yeah, he did not, because I heard something or read something somewhere that the pressure's on him because he had a terrible playoff series the last time they were in it. I don't know if it was last year. What's funny about baseball? They make it so hard to follow it now because there's no box scores in the newspapers. And in order for you to follow, you got to click on things every day. And I click on the Royals, and I don't have the interest in a lot of other teams to really click and see. But it would be so easy if they had box scores in newspapers. You could just scan down them all and, let's see how the Yankees did. Let's see how the Red Sox did. Let's see how the Twins did. You know, there's always people on every team that I kind of like to follow, but it's too hard. You know, it's like the Curb Your Enthusiasm episode when Larry doesn't leave a tip to the guy in the club, and the guy, you know, because it went up to 18%.
That's right.
Right.
And he didn't leave the extra tip. He said, I don't want to do math. Well, I don't want to click on all these games, you know.
Right.
Just let me open the sports page, scan down, and see what happened. They make it too difficult to follow. So I don't know. I couldn't even tell you the starting lineup for the Yankees, but I can tell you the Royals. And the Royals, their defense is so good. I mean, it's unbelievable. And like I said before, the bullpen has come out of nowhere. I think at the start of the season, the bullpen has been complete. There's only 2 guys in the bullpen that were there in the start of the season. Only 2 guys. And the rest of them have come up. But, you know, Bubic came up. Lynch has been back and forth. Lynch has been great. Bubic has been great. Angel Zerpa's throwing great. The new guy, Ertz's doing great. It's just unbelievable. And I got a feeling Brady Singer's going to be out there because he's not pitching. You know, he'll be in the bullpen tonight.
Yeah.
Or tomorrow night. I keep thinking the game's tonight.
Yeah, because we've had too many days off already, you know?
Well, that's what happens when you sweep. You get days off.
Yeah, that's right.
The Yankees are already using that as an excuse, though. They're like, we're only going to play 1 game in 9 days. And I'm like, all right, you're already building in the excuses for why the Royals are going to beat your ass.
And I hope it shows, too. I hope it shows.
George, in honor for you. In honor for you tonight, I hope, or tomorrow. See, now you got me saying tonight, man. I'm with you, man. I'm juiced up for this. I think I'm just going to put eye black on, my powder blue Royals T-shirt, and put a little pine tar a little too high on my Coors Light can and just watch the game Saturday night.
Well, at least you're drinking the right brand.
That's right, man. The Silver Bullets. I'll do Miller Lite. I'll do Coors Light, but it's you.
Funny? You know what's funny? I went out and had dinner last night. JJ took the baseball staff out to dinner. People in the front office, and we had a nice steak dinner. I get there, and I go, I'll have a Coors Light. No, we don't have Coors Light. I go, you got to be kidding me. Oh, my God.
So would you go with wine?
Yeah, I went with wine,
Yeah.
What's your what's George Brett's favorite cut of steak?
I kind of like the strips. Ooh. I like a strip. My wife and I split a strip last night. That's what we've been doing lately. We've been, you know, because you get those big old steaks. We just split them. Give us we share a steak. And it's, get up in the morning, I don't feel as bloated and, you know, feeling better. My jeans are fitting better. My pants are fitting better. And it's easier to tie my shoes. So it's been great.
That's how you know you're getting old, George, because Jen and I are the same way. We'll just share something, right?
Exactly. We shared a salad last night, and we split a steak. It was great.
It's fantastic.
That's right.
All right.
And you know what? And you know what's crazy? The Royals were buying. I could have got the biggest one in the house. They wouldn't even have known.
I know. You should have done that. We've been there before.
Yeah, I should have.
Yeah.
But, you know, let me see. Who was ordering the wine last night? Who was Renee? Renee Francisco was ordering the wine. He picked out some good wine, so it was good.
Good. Dusty asked me this earlier, and I'm going to ask you this. Would you rather have Bobby Witt on your teams in the 80s, or would you rather be on this team with Bobby Witt?
I'd rather have Bobby Witt on my team in the 80s.
Yeah, I figured. I knew it.
Yes.
I also have a vision. It's going to be so hard for you tonight not to want to put the uniforms on and go out there tomorrow night, I should say, and go out there and just play.
Tomorrow night. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he would. I mean, Bobby Witt, he's just a special once-in-a-lifetime player. I mean, it's incredible to watch him. And, you know, what's crazy is every team circles the guy in the lineup. This guy's not going to beat us. We can't let this guy beat us. And I guarantee you, Baltimore circled his name and said, he will not beat us. We'll pitch around him if we have to. And sure enough, he drives in the only run of the game, the first game, and hits the go-ahead RBI in the second. It's just mind-boggling to me. But he's got a knack. He's got a knack to do something special, and he's a very poised kid for his age, and God, is he good. He is so exciting to watch.
Should the Royals wear powder blues tomorrow night?
Oh, gosh. It would bring back some good memories. Yeah. Wouldn't that be something?
That'd be great. Yeah.
All of a sudden, they come out in those uniforms.
Oh my God!
Cool.
With the elastic waistband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have those, you can eat any kind of steak.
The elastic, I hated those things because if you have a little roll on the side, your waistband always flipped over. And
Yeah, you definitely were sharing a steak 3 ways with the elastic band.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, George. Well, thanks for the time. Enjoy the game tomorrow night and everything that comes with it, and try not to strap up on the uniform and get on the field. I would want to see that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might put something on and go out for practice today and kind of shag or something in the outfield. That'd be fun.
That'd be fun. See you, George.
Okay, pal. Shit.
Talk to you. George Brett with us here on 96.5 The Fan. Bringing back some good memories of those days. And, yeah, sharing the steak, Dusty. You'll get there eventually at some point in your life where you're sharing the steak, too.
I don't mind it. Coming up on the other side, though, we just talked to George Brett. Glad you saw that. We get to our cover 2 this weekend. What are we covering? Plus, you can only choose one. We'll get to that on the other side on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
If you had the crystal ball, you wouldn't agonize over when to sell your home. You'd just ask, should I sell while my home's value is sky high, or wait and hope the bottom doesn't drop out of the housing market? The thing is, I'm not ready to move. You don't need a crystal ball with Truehold's Sell and Stay program. You can literally sell now and stay in your home as long as you like. When you sell your home to Truehold for its best current value, you can fully cash out your home's equity, and you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Truehold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance too. Truehold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get an offer now while your home's value is sky high, and use the money to secure your retirement, pay off bills, or finance your dreams. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's current best value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc., all rights reserved, Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or diabetes, you're at higher risk of being hospitalized from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Using the Labor Day weekend to get some work done? We got you. Stop by any store to save on oil, fuel system cleaner, wipers, and more. Looking for an end of summer wash? We've got deals for that too. Don't want to leave the garage? Get same-day delivery on AutoZone.com. Do Labor Day your way by getting something done at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Ends Labor Day. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side 29 southbound is recovering. You're still seeing some slow traffic off again, on again from Parvin all the way into the downtown loop. But the earlier accident at 70 has cleared. 670 eastbound heavy from the state line over into the downtown loop. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan traffic.
Back here on 96.5 The Fan on a Friday, Blue Friday, Red Friday. I don't really care how you celebrate, one or two or both. It's both today. I'm excited, man. I'm like George. I keep saying tonight.
Yeah, everybody thinks it's tonight because we're so used to that in baseball, and you should be waking up on a Friday having a game, but we're not. It's okay.
It's all right. We got one more.
One more day. One more sleep, as they like to tell the kids before Christmas, right?
That's right.
Hey, this Friday, since there's no game, you're looking for something fun to do, right? Go Foaling. It is a free Foaling Friday at Foaling Warehouse, Kansas City from 2 until 6 every Friday in October. You can get your foal on for free. Arrive before 6 o'clock. Tell them we sent you. They'll let you go in and foal around for free. Just mention 96.5 The Fan, and you'll foal for free. Doors open at 2, and anyone that arrives before 6 can participate in that. They'll have some drink specials for you as well. It's a great place to have fun, whether you want to do it with your family, your friends, your work people, nonprofit event. Just go to foalingkc.com, reserve a lane, or just show up between 2 and 6 today, and you will foal around for free. So check them out at 435 in State Line and foal for free today and every Friday in October from 2 to 6.
Before we get into our cover, too, I want to give some sort of relevance to what you have said about Aaron Judge. His career batting average is 288.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Which in today's game, that's not bad.
That's very solid, right? 288. On-base percentage, 406. Slug, 604. OPS career, 1,010.
Okay.
Very, very, very good. We scroll down to his career in the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
He has played in 4 wildcard series.
Okay.
He has played in 5 ALDS games and 3 ALCS games, which means if he's played in 3 ALCS, he hasn't made it to a World Series.
Well, AL, only 3 series or 3 games?
3 games, I believe.
Did he sit out a game?
Or, yeah, maybe. I don't know. It says 4 AL wildcard, 5 ALDS, and 3 ALCS. 6 years, 12 series. I'm sorry.
Series, okay.
So, yeah, 3 ALCSs. His career batting average in all of those is 211.
Yeah, he's not good in the postseason at all.
Wow.
He stinks in the postseason.
He has struck
Terrible.
out. He has struck out 66 times in 171 at bats.
That's a lot.
He has a total of 13 home runs, and his slash line is 310, 462, 772. He has clearly not been a playoff player like he is a regular season player.
Right.
Gives me a lot of James Harden vibes.
Yeah, a lot of Kevin Durant vibes, a lot of Michael Westbrook vibes.
Durant's got 2 Finals MVPs, and
Durant because he went and joined the team and got the MVP.
Well, I mean,
it wasn't because of him,
right?
He wasn't the catalyst for any of that. But Aaron Judge needs to be the catalyst, and that's why I've been telling you guys all week. Like, I love this matchup with the Yankees. Aaron Judge is a choke artist. I mean, he's a great regular season baseball player, and that's good, man. But you only matter if you do it in the big moments. Like, people will say that Derek Jeter wasn't the best shortstop on his team because of A-Rod being there. But if you got a moment in the postseason and you need a hit, you want Derek Jeter in the batter's box because he has a knack for coming up big and being big in the big moments. And I keep going back to your stars need to be stars. And if Aaron Judge is that in the postseason against the Royals, it's going to be a quick 3-game series. They're going to take care of the Yankees right away. Aaron Judge has yet to show that he is a big-time player, that he has a set of stones on him where he can go out there with the other Yankee legends and do what those other Yankee legends have done. And that's why I keep saying there's more pressure on Aaron Judge than I've ever seen on a singular athlete in a playoff series in my entire life. Because if he doesn't get it done again, the pressure that's going to be on him going forward and the talk that's going to be about him going forward, it's not going to be nice. And people are going to demand him to be traded. You know how people work as fans. It's going to be, people are going to lose their minds. Like, Aaron Judge is under so much pressure to finally get his team over that hump. I just think when you play with that pressure in the postseason in baseball, you just don't fare as well as teams who are playing with no pressure. And Bobby Witt Jr. and the rest of the Royals, they got nothing to lose.
Right. In the 5 ALDS series, Aaron Judge has played, and his batting average is 198.
Yeah.
His OPP is 300. His slug is 419, and his OPS is 719.
Yeah,
he has struck out 13 times in 86 at bats, and he only has 6 home runs in those ALDS 5 series. So,
I mean, you watch that first at bat from Aaron Judge tonight. Watch him. He's going to be tense. Or
tomorrow. We're all there.
We're all doing it, right?
We're all there.
We're all doing
Thanks,
it, right?
George.
Thank you, George.
Yeah.
They're either going to be tense. He's going to be nervous. He knows that in his mind, when he comes up to the plate, even if there's nobody on, he's got to hit a 5-run home run. And when you have that mindset, and when you're not able to get out of that mindset, you lose games. And in my opinion, Aaron Judge is going to be pressing from the moment he steps into that box until the Royals sweep him in 3 games here in Kansas City. And that's what's going to happen. And, you know, I hate to kind of be Captain Obvious here, but this game is not hard to figure out how to predict who's going to win these things. If Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge of the postseason, the Yankees don't stand a chance in this series. If Aaron Judge is the Aaron Judge of the regular season, then they do have a chance in this series. But Aaron Judge has proven over all of those years and all of those numbers, that's not a microcosm of 2 games. That's a career in the postseason. Aaron Judge is useless in the postseason. And until he plays big, his team is not advancing. And that's the beauty of postseason baseball. It has nothing to do with the regular season. And if you go in there and you play tight and you play tense, sorry, you're done.
You brought up a good question. It's a choose one. Bob sent me and Mac this yesterday.
From my friend Nick Paradise by the Dashboard Light. He sent me this text and wanted to know which we would choose.
Meatloaf is the artist of that song.
That's great.
Option 1, 3 World Series appearances in the next 10 years and 1 win guaranteed. 3 World Series trips, you're guaranteed at least 1. That'd give the Royals 3 titles total. It would give another decade, another sort of blue crown, right? Or option 2, a guaranteed three-peat this Chiefs season.
I didn't have to think twice. It's guaranteed three-peat this season.
Right? That's what we all 3, I think, texted back immediately. It was like, it's easy.
It's easy.
Even though I love a World Series.
Right.
But there's something different about a three-peat. Because, A, it's never been done. B, I mean, legacy sealed approval. Like, the Chiefs could never play another game in the history of the NFL, and they'd be considered the greatest team of all time.
Of all time. If they contracted after the Super Bowl, they would still be looked at as the greatest dynasty in the history of the NFL because they've won 3 straight Super Bowls.
Would I love 3 World Series in the next 10 years with 1 guaranteed win, the possibility of winning 2 others or 1 more at least? Yeah, for sure. But look, the Yankees have, 28 titles or something like that. The Dodgers have a slew of them. The Cardinals have a ton. Like, a bunch of teams that, winning, I mean, would be great. And maybe they win one this year. And, maybe the Royals, have a chance sometime in their career with the pitching and the superstars that they are starting to develop, and Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny Pasquantino, those guys. Maybe there's a chance that they go back-to-back at some point, which would be tight. But to me, the one that, like you said, it was just, I looked at it, I respected it because I wanted to give it time. I was like, okay, hold on, before you start typing and send. Yeah, it's 3-peat. It's not even, and it's really not even close because it is a really good scenario.
But let's take away 14 and 15. Let's say that didn't happen. The Royals didn't win.
I'm still
change
going
your
with
answer.
No, it would not.
Okay.
It would not. Now, if you would have said this a year ago, if we were in 2023 and you said a repeat for the Chiefs or 3 World Series and guaranteed 1 title in the next 10 years, I'm taking the baseball side of things. The only reason I'm taking the football side of things is because this is not just for history today, this creates you as the greatest organization and greatest dynasty in America's number one sport ever. And nobody can take that away from you. There's no more debating on, if this is a dynasty, which quite honestly, I'm effing tired of hearing about that.
People
too.
are debating that?
Oh, God, yes. Yes. Oh, God, yes. Oh, you watch the National.
Are they infants?
I don't think they're doing it like today, but like after they won that second championship, they were talking about it all. That is this now officially a dynasty? Are the Chiefs a dynasty? Have they done it? All this kind of nonsense. They're officially a dynasty. You win that 3. There's no debating on whether or not this is a dynasty, whether or not it's the best dynasty, whether or not Patrick, it changes the outlook and perception of every single person associated with this three-peat. Brett Veach will be the only general manager to three-peat. Andy Reid would be the only head coach to three-peat. Patrick Mahomes the only quarterback. Clark Hunt the only, it changes the perception and narrative of every single person associated with this, that they're going to be able to do something that nobody else in the history of this sport has ever done. I don't want to hear about the Providence Steamrollers, okay? Nobody in this sport has done what the Chiefs are on the cusp of doing. And so because it was the three-peat and it's historical and it's something that nobody's ever done before, that's why I have to go with the three-peat.
On the come.
I like to give the people what they want, and someone said, yeah, that's cool. You talk about judging and stats. Please don't jinx it. What about Soto's? Soto's career batting average is 285. OBB is 421. Slug 532. OPS 953. Solid Hall of Fame numbers.
Yeah.
You move down to the playoff comparison. Postseason batting. Career batting average 261. OBP 349. Slug 495. OPS 845. Good, but completely different player in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys under pressure aren't as good. And that's why I keep going back to Garrett Cole as well. Like, I just don't look at Garrett Cole as a tough-minded individual that's going to be able to fight through adversity. Like, if the Royals get a run or two early in this game, and I'm talking in the first inning, my God, the pressure's turned up on the Yankees. It just is. It's just like it's going to be insane. Like, the Yankees are down 2-0 going into the bottom of the first inning. The Royals take a 2-0 lead. What do you think Aaron Judge is going to be doing in that box away? Pressing right away. So that's why it's important to grab that early lead. Yeah, that pressing.
Yeah, there we go.
Right? Like, he's going to be pressing. Soto's going to be pressing. Stanton's going to be pressing. Chisholm's going to be pressing. Like, it's going to be a situation where the tension you can feel and cut with a knife inside that stadium. And so in an early lead, not just in any playoff game, but in this one in particular, I think it's very important because you put the Yankees on their heels, and they have shown they're not tough enough to compete in the postseason with this current group of players.
Let's get into the cover 2 that we're going to do this weekend. Dr. Mackenstein, our executive producer. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first? How do you want to do this today?
I can go first if you want. Cover 2 for this weekend for me. One, I'm watching Ravens-Bengals, man. If Cincy loses, they're cooked. If they win, this officially becomes the best/most interesting division in football because then they're 2-3. The Ravens are just 1 game ahead of them. I mean, we like the Steelers, but we both think I'm pretty sure kind of tanking a little bit. And all as far as ceilings are concerned, Ravens and Cincy have a higher ceiling. That division would be instantly just mega watch if Cincinnati loses or wins. If they lose, they're cooked. So I'm watching that. And then Jaguars, man, same kind of thing. Their next 3 games, Colts, Bears, Patriots. Now, the Bears and the Patriots are both in London, but those are 3 winnable games. For what is still a really bad Jaguars team, those are 3 not great teams, Colts, Bears, Patriots. If they win all 3, the season is back, and Doug is safe for now. If not, he'll be left in London sipping tea.
Yeah, I think this game against the Colts is a big one, though, for Doug Peterson and his future, based on everything that he said this past week of, I can't run the plays and call the plays. And, you know,
he's about to get blown out by Flacco.
I mean, when you start doing that kind of stuff, you've lost your team. Like, if I'm on that team right now, I'm like, bro, you're our coach. You can't be saying that kind of stuff. You got to have our backs. And Doug Peterson clearly didn't, with those comments. So I think this is a big week for Doug Peterson. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose this game if they bounce on Doug Peterson.
They're about to get blown out. Michael Pittman's about to be reinvented. Showed a little sign last week. Yeah. Now he's got Joe Flacco, who likes to throw those post routes and those over-the-side little out routes. I see Michael Pittman on your fantasy football show getting some love on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Mac.
Oh, yeah.
My cover 2 this weekend is the first one is Bills versus the Texans.
Gosh.
You got C.J. Stroud versus Josh Allen. That's a noon game, Daddy.
Yeah, can you believe that game is a noon game?
That's
because
a primetime noon
nobody
game.
expected Buffalo to be any good this year?
No, I think that's just noon game.
Baltimore and Cincy's noon, too.
I'd rather have this game be your Sunday night game, which is Dallas and Pittsburgh.
That's the Sunday night game,
That's
man.
Sunday
of course,
night.
You know,
hey, early bedtime for us.
Absolutely.
Gearing up for Monday, so I'm good with it.
Football.
But no,
I understand why two teams with huge fan bases.
But I mean, there's two major storylines in this game, right? One is Josh Allen versus C.J. Stroud. There's three storylines in this game. Josh Allen versus C.J. Stroud. Stephon Diggs gets to go back in his team.
To go back in his old team, yeah.
After both sides have kind of been talking a little you-know-what on each other without saying names, there's enough there to know.
Such a passive-aggressive 2024.
Yeah.
Just call them out.
Bills are like, well, I'm glad to see. Josh Allen said what? Like, there's no individuals out here caring about self-stats.
No one cares about stats.
And then Stephon Diggs, like, maybe it's just time to be a better, whatever it is. And then the third storyline is that who is the real number one contender to the Chiefs? Is it Buffalo? Is it Baltimore, obviously? They show that they're kind of fighting, but they've already got the tiebreaker out. Or is it Houston? Both these teams are 3-1. Both these games are pivotal, and we'll see what happens next. The other thing I'm ready for in the cover two, you got an 8:30 a.m. game, baby.
That's right.
We're back in London. You got Jets and Vikings. Sam Darnold versus his old team.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers going to get booed in England.
How do they boo in London? Do they go
Boo.
Cheerio?
I think they just should turn their backs to Aaron Rodgers when he comes out on the field. That's got to be the most disrespecting thing.
Do they call him a bloke? Is that like the term they use over there for people they don't like?
Bloke.
I think they have another word that we don't say very often in the United States. They'll probably call Aaron Rodgers.
Cheerio.
Yeah. But no, I like that game because it is, like you say, big game for Doug Peterson. Big game for Robert Saleh. If things go south and there's a lot of scuffling on the sidelines, we know this is Aaron Rodgers' team. It reminds me of when they had that relationship between Marty and Joe back in the day. I know that wasn't a friendly relationship, and you could kind of tell. And then Montana's done, and Marty moves on and continues to be a great coach for the Chiefs. But this is one of those games. It's 8:30 in the morning. I love these London games. I know some people don't, but you can get up at 8 o'clock in the morning. You can see football, your fantasy team's going. And when this game's over, you got 15-minute window, and you're right into the noon slate that gets you right into Ravens, Bengals, Houston, Bills. So those are the two things I'm covering this weekend: Bills versus Houston, and 8:30 a.m. Vikings and Jets.
I do like the 8:30 game because I'm not going to lie. On Sunday morning or Saturday morning, I'll sit down outside. I'll watch some soccer if it's on or something like that. Yeah, get some early bets in on Vikings and Minnesota and New York in that game. And the Aaron Rodgers Robert Saleh dynamic is really fun. I'm smiling at the camera right now. This is really fun. I like that dynamic a lot. I think Aaron Rodgers may punch Saleh on the sideline at some point. I think that would be really good, right?
They're not going to hug each other. I know that. They already tried that once, and it was awkward.
I mean, that was really bad. It's like trying to make a move on your girl. She's like, nah, we're friend zone. And Aaron Rodgers.
Your talent?
Aaron Rodgers isn't even friend zone with Robert Saleh. They're like, you don't talk to me, I don't talk to you. I'll do my thing, you do your thing, right? It's bad. For me, my cover two this week, I am Buffalo-Houston. I think that's the best game of the weekend. We're going to find out a lot about Houston, I think, in this one. If they beat Buffalo, then Houston is your number one contender, and it's not just Reuben Hurricane Carter to the heavyweight crown. I think what you're looking at is a Buffalo team that has beaten some really bad football teams so far this year. They've had one test. They lost that game. So they've got a good test. We'll see if Buffalo's a legitimate team this weekend. And then the other one for me, and I'm going to duck here for a second, Vegas against Denver, man. They're both 2-2. I'm curious more than anything. I just want to see two AFC West teams that I don't really have a lot of respect for, but see what they can do. Antonio Pierce is under a lot of heat, obviously, now after liking a post wanting to trade Devontae Adams.
So dumb.
Devontae's allegedly hurt this weekend, as I use the air quotes, hurt with a calf injury or a hamstring injury this weekend, right? And then you have the Broncos, who beat the Jets last week. Bo Nix, he's 2-2 right now. Who would have thought? I'm interested to see who kind of wins that battle of turdbirds.
I'd like the Bucs and then beat the Jets.
Yeah.
2 wins in a row for the Broncos.
I'd like to put by the way, the Bucs a false prophet?
I don't know. They looked really good. I don't know. They're weird. I can't figure them out. No idea.
Last 3 weeks are 1-2.
Yeah.
If you
and
had
the one is the Lions.
Yeah, right.
That's
Exactly. But if you had to root for either Denver or Vegas, who do you want to win that game?
Vegas.
Vegas?
I want them to think they have a chance when they play the Chiefs and get beat 56-7.
Okay.
Yeah,
Plus, I think if I could put a prop bet on, I'd throw 2 sacks on Max Crosby. He's going to absolutely eat Bo Nix's lunch.
Agreed. Yeah,
I think he's healthy enough to play.
Is he? Are we sure?
I don't know. They had a lot. I mean, the West Coast had so many injuries last week.
Devontae Adams is hurt now. So I roll my eyes at the camera.
But no, I want Vegas to think, we have a chance. Because obviously the Chargers on a bye. I want Vegas to be like, you know what? I think we could beat the Chiefs. We just beat Bo Nix and the Broncos.
All right.
And they beat Tampa and Baker.
Think about these quarterbacks.
Is that game in Denver?
I think it's in Vegas.
I think it's in Vegas. Okay.
I'll look. I have the schedule.
It's in Denver, I think.
Oh, it is in Denver?
Oh, I thought, okay, gotcha.
It's at Mile High.
Yeah. I know it's in Mile High because they're doing retro end zones. And I got down a rabbit hole last night.
Yeah, it is Denver.
Right? They're doing a celebration for their 77 team, which went to the Super Bowl for the first time. So they're doing their field retro of the way it looked in 1977. Now, the only caveat on that is the Raiders and Broncos played in the 77 AFC Championship game. And in that 77 championship game at Mile High, one end zone said Broncos, the other said Raiders. Okay? Because that's the way it worked for those championship games. They said that's not going to happen this time around, but they're not going to have a logo on the center of the field. They're just going to have the two end zones, and it's going to be painted from like 1977. And then here's where the rabbit hole got going last night after sitting out at the Lanai for a little bit.
You turned into a rabbit?
I did. I was talking to a rabbit at one point. But here's I didn't realize this. They said the end zones for those AFC championship games always had the home team and the visiting team in them, even back to that game in Cleveland, the drive with John Elway.
Yeah.
So I got the video up of that game because, no way they played in Cleveland. Sure enough, that game in 1986, the beginning of 1987, in Cleveland, AFC Championship game, one end zone said Broncos and one said Browns. Could you imagine rolling to Arrowhead over these last couple of years and seeing one end zone Chiefs and one end zone Loserville? No. I'm glad they changed that.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was a thing until 12 hours ago.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'd hate that. No.
God, that would suck.
Not
you
an
roll into
Arrowhead.
Arrowhead for the
No.
AFC Championship game, and one end zone says Chiefs, the other says Titans or Bengals and Chiefs or whoever. That would suck.
That's great, but who are the chefs?
Yeah.
Great, boogly woogly. God, I love that. Makes me laugh every time I see that commercial. That is our cover 2 this week on Fescoe and Dusty, brought to you by Rainer Garage Doors of Kansas City. LiftMaster has patented MyQ technology as the #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Find them at RainerKC.com. My favorite part of this show that we do every week, it's called What's in the Script. We dive into it on the other side here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Fescoe and Dusty.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Yeah, there are so many football games streaming this season. Can Xfinity Internet handle it?
Oh, we know the game is only live once, so we built a network with all-pro speeds and low lag so you don't miss a snap.
So I can yell, "He's open!" when he's actually open?
Yeah, but the quarterback still can't hear you.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and TV and enjoy instant access to your favorite live sports with the Xfinity Stream app. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Streaming content limited to the U.S. Programming subject to change.
It's finally starting to actually feel like fall outside. So you know what that means. Time to get to Kohl's for cozy, comfy, and cute outfits. With their friends and family sale, I saved 20% on everyday styles that I can't wait to wear all fall long. Plus, I earn Kohl's cash. But don't take my word for it. Get to Kohl's and discover fall faves for yourself. Select styles. Offers end October 6th. Some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
Hey, sports fans! If you like college football and you love the excitement of going for a big score with parlay wagering, then this offer from BetMGM really has legs. Introducing the College Football No Sweat Parlay Token. Apply this token to any qualifying college football parlay wager. If you don't win, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets. Log into your existing BetMGM account to receive your token. Then add a qualifying college football parlay wager to your bet slip and attach the token. You'll get your stake back in bonus bets if your parlay isn't a winner. So go deep without even breaking a sweat. Make your favorite picks from dozens of betting options and watch the games knowing you're part of the action. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Truck drivers, the holiday rush is here. Now is the perfect time to become a Schneider driver. As an industry leader trusted by shippers nationwide, Schneider has the freight to keep you moving this holiday season and all year long. As a Schneider driver, you'll enjoy award-winning benefits, reliable equipment, a pay package that rewards your hard work, and so much more. Don't let the holiday rush pass you by. Search jobs near you and apply now at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Hey, football fans! Time to step up your game with Johnny's Barbecue tailgate packages. Whether you're hosting a home game or tailgate, Johnny's Barbecue has you covered. We've been serving award-winning traditional KC barbecue since 1977. Johnny's Barbecue was featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives with legendary Guy Fieri. It's time you experienced KC's hidden gem of barbecue. Check out our tailgate packages at Johnny'sBBQKC.com. Located in Olathe and serving all of KC. Johnny's Barbecue, taste the smoke.
Ready to take your business to the next level? In today's fast-paced marketing world, staying ahead isn't just an option, it's essential. That's where scale marketing comes in. We don't just help you compete, we make sure you win. Whether you're looking to grow, expand, or overcome stagnation, scale marketing is your performance marketing partner. We specialize in helping mid-sized B2C companies with teams of over 100 thrive. Scale Marketing is a full-service agency offering expertise in performance marketing across traditional and digital platforms, creative production, and data analytics. We treat your money like it's our own, ensuring every dollar is spent with purpose and every decision is driven by data. Our knowledgeable team stays ahead of the trends, crafting strategies that align with your business goals. Partnering with Scale Marketing means gaining a dedicated strategist and a team committed to your success. If you're ready to lead the market, visit scalemarketing.com today. That's scalemarketing.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Community America Credit Union. Member owned, open to all, invested in you.
Join the fans Cody and Gold today as they broadcast live from Community America Credit Union off 135th and Black Bob in Olathe. Take photos with Chiefs cheerleaders and Casey Wolf for some Chiefs gear and win tickets to Monday's Chiefs game. All at Community America's Black Bob location in Olathe.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Northland 169 highway southbound at Inglewood. Stall in the left lane slows you almost back to 68th Street. 670 eastbound slowing to downtown from the state line. 70 westbound slowing to downtown from Prospect with an accident in downtown. 670 westbound at Oak Street. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Welcome back in to Fescoe and Dusty. I told you the show's going to go by fast. We got an hour and 13 minutes left. We got Binkley at 9 for the roundtable. Let me tell you something, Bob. I'm going to answer the question if I've ever had an upper lip or jaw and when I've been penetrating. I think the answer is yes, and I'm going to get down to the bottom of this because somebody actually texted me like, did you really say that about Binkley on the air? It's like, I don't know. It's an honest question. Somebody says from the 913 would love an on-air reply. Who's the bigger diva, Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, it's Russell Wilson.
I disagree.
Okay.
I think it's Aaron Rodgers.
That's a good question.
It is a really good question. And I could go either way, though.
At least the only lies that Aaron Rodgers or that Russell Wilson says are about himself and his talent. The lies that Aaron Rodgers says are just false rhetoric. It's just like not true. Like you could fact check Aaron Rodgers. You'd be like, yeah, what you're saying is an opinion. It's not fact. It's like, so, and like Russell Wilson isn't going on television shows. Russell Wilson isn't calling other people by, fake nicknames. Like what do you call Kelsey, Mr. Pfizer? Like, all Russell Wilson says is like, let's ride. Russell Wilson.
That's phony, though.
That's cringy. Aaron Rodgers is diva-ish.
What was the question, phony or diva?
It was, who's the bigger diva, Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know. I want to take back Russell Wilson now and say Aaron Rodgers.
But the Russell Wilson thing, the other side is like, remember he had his own office.
Yeah. And doing those cringy commercials that weren't real and, like all that kind of stuff.
But he's in a huddle by himself.
Yeah, the office thing, though, you're right.
The office thing was rough.
But he's getting seeked out to do the commercials. Like someone wants to sponsor him.
That's true.
Right? Like they're being like, hey, we want you because you are Russell Wilson.
Or remember the deal he did at in his closet with his clothes, and they did that pass or smash with his outfits that he was wearing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that. Like
Wait,
that was
what?
No, he came out like my family wants me to know which one's gonna be.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was just the whole thing. I don't know. Like neither of them. I could do without Aaron Rodgers and Russell. I don't need either of those guys in the NFL.
You think he's ever gone up to Sierra and been like, Wilson bedroom, let's ride? No.
You ride.
Yeah. It's just Mr. Unlimited. I think he's just more cringy than he is
but
diva.
The office thing.
The office thing is a diva.
The diva things are the office, the no future music in the locker room or ever.
But Aaron Rodgers is also very diva-ish as well, trying to run the whole organization.
Well, Rodgers is a diva because he told everybody that he doesn't have a relationship with his family, and everybody's like, oh, does his family just suck? And then you realize, wait a second,
this guy sucks.
Doesn't go to training camp, doesn't do anything, makes it about him, goes on a retreat by himself, naked, cross-legged,
licking
sweating,
toads,
doing something.
Yeah,
that's
fair.
All
right.
That's fair.
I'll revise. I'll go with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
he has more diva-like talents than just the office for Russell Wilson.
From the 816, would like another on-air response. Who is a bigger diva, C-Dot or Cody?
Ooh, Cody by far.
Oh, no. I don't have an answer.
I don't think C-Dot's a diva as more as C-Dot just doesn't get it that everybody else works here.
I abstain.
I plead the fifth.
Yep. Smart.
I'm gonna go Cody.
Okay.
Yeah. C-Dot chews pens. That's not diva-ish. A diva would have somebody chew the pens for them.
If there weren't. Like, I feel like
a diva would have Rob chew the pens, know, and then say,
or I'm done chewing this one, Rob, please take it.
Yeah. Still wet with saliva.
I prefer to chew on a Bic, Rob, and this is a Uniball.
No, I don't think either one of them are divas. I love both those guys.
If I had to pick, it would be Cody.
Let's get into what's in the script.
What's in the script?
Love it.
That's a good intro. I like it. Very well done by you. Yeah.
You can always just play like NFL music. Makes it sound a little bit more theatrical.
Yeah.
No, I think you think Binkley plays the NFL music before he gets laid.
No. That's how Binkley gets up in the morning. That's his alarm clock, and then he plays it all day and kind of goes in slow motion to the NFL music and thinks about John Facenda.
I can see the text line already coming at me, being like, "Man, Dusty's got a lot of like intriguing thoughts about Binkley's sex life."
You really do, which is kind of disturbing. Yeah.
I'm interested in everybody's sex life.
I share mine very openly. And I'm not ashamed of it at all. I think with Binkley, no, anyway.
Okay.
I'm going to start with what's in the script this weekend because I'm going to go off the rails a little bit on this one, and I'm going to do mine about what's going to happen in this baseball series over the weekend. Here's how it's all going to play out for me. Royals-Yankees, 5:38 on Saturday.
There you go.
Saturday. Garrett Cole on the mound. He is going to give up at minimum of 1 run in the first inning of that game against the Yankees. Michael Wacha is going to settle in, and he's going to have his way with the Yankee hitters. Swing and a miss, strike 3 for Juan Soto. Swing and a miss, strike 3 for Aaron Judge. And before you know it, the first inning's over, and the Royals are up 1-0. The pressure starts to mount on the Yankees. Judge strikes out multiple times in this game. Giancarlo Stanton has multiple strikeouts in this game. And Juan Soto has multiple strikeouts in this game. It will get tense in the 8th inning, and with 2 outs in the 8th. The runners will be at second and third for the Yankees, and Aaron Judge will be at the bat. And Lucas Erceg will come in out of the bullpen. He will strike out Aaron Judge to end the 8th inning with 2 runners on, and then have a clean 9th inning. Royals win 1-0 over the Yankees. Cole Reagans gets the ball on Monday night, and we come back to Kansas City up 2-0. I know we're going to be on Monday before we get to Monday, but I'm just predicting the future. The Royals will win this game against the Yankees by a score of 1-0. Lucas Erceg will get 4 outs late in the game. Michael Wacha will pick up the win, and the talk in New York on Monday will be Aaron Judge is a loser, and that will bring him down even more, and the Royals will run away with this series.
All right, next with me, I'm going to go just NFL broad here. And I made this prediction before Thursday Night Football, might I add. This Sunday, we are getting an offensive explosion. This first month of the season has just been kind of on offense. No touchdowns, lots of interceptions, feels like a field goal year, right? Kickers are just all the points. So it's going to be an explosion of offense. Packers, Rams, points. Texans, Bills, going to be big points. Hell, I think even Giants, Seahawks could have some explosion to it. Malik Neighbors gets in the end zone. So finally, after a month, offenses get warmed up. Feels a little more normal. We see some points.
Love it. My what's in the script is also football related. Let Bob lead the way with baseball. I love everything you said. I would absolutely kiss you on the lips if the Royals win that game 1-0.
I'm good.
I'll put some Burt's Bees
You
on
can kiss
there.
Jen. She'll be happy.
That's in the script. I am kissing Bob's wife this weekend. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. Jen, pucker up, babe. No, yeah.
Here comes Dusty and Midnight Saturday. Where's Jen?
Well, Vern does call me Mr. Saturday Night. Let's try to get that tally up to 2. My in the script is the Dolphins, Bills, and Bengals all lose this week, and the AFC is over. Dolphins lose, Bills lose, Bengals lose. You have tiebreaker over the Ravens. Chiefs will have the tiebreaker +1 over Baltimore. Buffalo would have 2 losses. Cincinnati and Miami are buried, done, and over with. And the Chiefs' only worry is the Houston Texans come December 21st.
So you think Buffalo loses this game? Good.
Yep.
I'm with you. I don't think they're very good. Their quarterback's mid at best.
The Chiefs would then come out of a bye 5-0, just separated depending on what happens tonight. I'm doing this in the future. Against the New Orleans Saints, but separate themselves from the pack. Vegas and Denver will beat up on each other, and I think Vegas wins, and I think Max Crosby has a day versus Bo Nix. Either way, the 1 seed is all but done. The Chiefs are in the fast lane. Nobody's in their rearview mirror. Chiefs only have 2 games that matter the rest of the year. It's Buffalo and it's Houston, and both those teams play each other this weekend. Houston goes to 4-1. Buffalo goes to 3-2. 2 losses in a row to Buffalo. Cultural shock for the boys in blue and red up there.
Which big-name player is a more mid-player in the postseason? Josh Allen or Aaron Judge?
Jeez. Josh Allen's been really good in the playoffs.
Been so good in the postseason.
So I would say Aaron Judge.
Okay.
I mean, Josh Allen, that 13 seconds game, that wasn't his fault they lost.
Well,
he didn't get the ball in overtime, and his defense was the number 1 defense in the league that year, and they couldn't hold the Chiefs for 13 seconds.
Got to take all the time off the clock. That's on him.
Yeah, no one saw 13 seconds
McDermott,
coming,
bro.
Man. Shawnee Mack. On the other side, we get into our Richards of the week, and then after that, a non-Richard, Jay Binkley, will join the roundtable here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan. Yo! Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
You've been waiting, and now is the time. Golden Oak Lending has fixed mortgage rates at 4.875%. But don't wait. This rate won't last forever. I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. Why pay 20 to 30% interest rates on your credit cards when you can pay them off with our low 4.875 mortgage rate? Home values are higher than ever. That means you have more equity than ever. You can use that equity to save money by paying off credit cards, auto loans, or get cash for home renovations. You can even just lower your monthly payments. It's your equity, and you are entitled to use it to save money. And don't forget our appraisal guarantee. If for any reason your loan doesn't close, we will pay for your appraisal. Call today and take advantage of our low 4.875 fixed rate. Call 913-890-GOLD. That's 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
5.784 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
It's a Red Friday on 96.5 The Fan and the other place, especially with these great game day specials. 8 wings and a basket of tots for $12 plus $4 domestic OP cups. The other place, the next best thing to being at the game.
Men, this is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health.
It seems like everything we hear these days is about political races, and yet there's a far more important race that you run for yourself every day. It's the race to be the best that you can be. But if your libido is low, if your workouts aren't productive, if you've got brain fog and you're tired all the time, you may feel like you're losing that race, and maybe even that your best days are behind you. But the truth is that they're likely not, because if you're feeling like this, it's probable you're simply suffering from low testosterone, a condition that affects a huge percentage of men as we age. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. We've successfully treated thousands of men for the condition, and if you're like most guys, you'll start seeing results in just a few weeks. Better sleep patterns, higher energy, improved mental clarity, more productive workouts, and your libido will likely increase as well. So get back to winning your race by calling us. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Calling all Kansas City football fans to downtown Las Vegas. Join us at Circa Resort and Casino this October for the ultimate game day getaway. Huddle up at Overhang Bar with 96.5 The Fan for our pregame tailgates on Fridays with drink specials and giveaways, including a pair of game day tickets. Then catch all the action at the world's largest sportsbook or lounge in the center of it all at America's favorite place to watch football, Stadium Swim, featuring 6 pools and a massive 143-foot screen. To book your Huddle Up experience, visit circalasvegas.com today.
Tune in this week to Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti, where they break down all the headlines in the NFL. Presented by T-Mobile. Head to T-Mobile.com and get a great deal on the iPhone 16 Pro.
Brought to you by Blue KC is the Coaches with Character program. Do you know a rock star high school coach in your district? Nominate them for the Blue KC Coaches with Character program at bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character. Let's make our coaches feel special and make our community a better place to live, work, and play.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
670 eastbound slow into downtown from the state line. 670 westbound with an accident around Oak Street. That has the right lane blocked still and keeping things slow back onto 70 westbound approaching downtown, but you've got off again, on again, slowdowns back to Prospect. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
The Royals are on to the Division Series. KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Right back here on 96.5 The Fan, 9 o'clock hour is your home for Kansas City sports. We are almost done with the show and almost on our way to a fun-fulfilled, stressless weekend until Saturday night.
Yeah, until Saturday night. Today's going to be a good one. My daughter plays soccer tonight at 8 o'clock, so we'll get to watch some soccer tonight and then, pace all day tomorrow, maybe pick up some dog poop or something like that out the yard and get ready for 5:38 first pitch. Royals, Yankees.
From the 816, pretty ignorant to say only 2 games matter in a three-peat with all our elite talent out. Thanks for understanding the concept of the bit.
Enjoy Friday, bro.
Mm-hmm. So, 816, I apologize that you don't get the bit because it's called in script. Anyways, let's get to the Richard of the Week.
Richard.
Richard, I'm so happy. Hold me.
Richard of the Week.
Not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
All right. So I'll start this off. I love this bit. For those of you that are After Hours fans, I appreciate you all. And you know this bit quite well as we bring it into Fescoe and Dusty on here at 96.5 The Fan. It is the Richard of the Week. This one is even worse because of the result of this series. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. But there was a Brewers fan this week that apparently has a lot of explaining to do with his wife and his family.
Ooh, I didn't see this.
This Brewers fan was mocked and gimmicked by the announcers of the game. Again, I don't know if this was real or fake. I'm pretty sure it's real. But it says, in a sign that this man is holding up, it says, first baby due today.
Oh, this guy, yeah.
He says, am I having a boy-girl playoff win? And he check-marked playoff win. He skipped the birth of his child.
Right.
First child to attend a Brewers and Mets playoff game.
Wild card playoff game.
It says the Milwaukee fan made an interesting life decision Wednesday to attend Game 2 of the Brewers wild card series against the New York Mets at American Family Field. Wearing Brewers visor and holding up a onesie, the fan sign revealed that he was attending the playoff game despite his first baby being due Wednesday. The bottom of the side said, P.S. Thanks, honey. Now, come on.
Yeah, come on, man. Like,
Okay,
you're just a loser if
right?
you're doing something like that, man.
And John Shambi said, wow, that's love right there. I'm assuming he's going to get a phone call if necessary and will bolt out of here, you would think.
No chance that guy's leaving the
Right.
game early to go watch his kid be born.
I don't know the results of this story. A lot of people have said that this was one of those things where it could be fake, but I don't think it would be. I don't know why you would fake a sign like that. To me,
Well, because you're a narcissist and you want to be on TV.
More clicks.
I don't have children,
Yeah.
but I can promise you right now, boys, I don't care if we had Patrick Mahomes, Brett Veach, and Clark Hunt on this show. If my future wife was giving birth on that morning, I would not be here.
No, you would not be here. I wouldn't let you be here.
I don't care if
Yeah.
I had a front row seat if I was in Crown Vision, or not Crown Vision, but the Crown seats behind the whatever they're called these days. Game 7, 3-3, Royals, and whoever. I'm at the hospital.
You're at the hospital. No,
and
there's no doubt. Yeah.
This guy is an absolute Richard for not being there. If it was like child number 3, I might give you some flack. But you're a father. Mac, you'll be a father. You probably not missed your child's birth. You never will. You got to be there for your lady. You got to be there to be the hold the child.
Right.
You got to be there for the family. Your Brewers have now lost to the Mets. You have 2 losses, and I wouldn't be surprised if this guy's paying child support in 3 years.
Now, if you are choosing a sporting event over your wife and the birth of your child, you are a loser. I mean, you just really are a bad human being. That's the way I'm going to look at that one. And I will say this: my wife and I actually have had this conversation recently, and she said we have 5 years left. She goes, "We're not missing anything," and I said, "No, I'm not. I mean, I'm not missing an 8th grade football game, a freshman soccer game, or tennis match." Or any of that stuff.
What about a jazz concert?
No, I'm not missing that, but they're not in the band, so I'm good with that. But I'm just not missing that stuff because you only have a limited lifetime. I think my entire childhood growing up, my parents missed one event that I put on, and I will never let them forget it. Patterson, New Jersey, swim meet. They did not show up, and I still resent them to this day for that. I'm kidding. But like
Bob and a Speedo, man.
You don't want to miss it. I sat in an inner tube. It was great. It was fantastic, right? Like you got to be there for your kids. That's the number one most important thing in life. Sports is there to give you the outlet and all that kind of stuff. But if you choose not to show up for something for your kids because you're doing something for yourself, and especially a birth of a child, that's just a very selfish way to go.
How about this text from the 970? Just because the baby is due that day doesn't mean the baby is actually going to be born on that day.
Yeah.
But I bet she was probably having contractions in the hospital. So
right. You don't.
You guys can go link up together and be good friends and single the rest of your life if you want to do that.
You really are texting that, and you're a loser too. Like I hate to say that, but you are. Like you know, the baby's going to be born this day. There's a good chance that this baby's coming out today.
The game can wait.
The game can wait.
Yeah.
I'll be there by your side because you don't know. I mean, once your wife starts the contractions and the water breaks. I remember when our first child was born, and I got up that morning to go to the gym, and I kissed my wife goodbye. I'm like, God, your breath is kicking, right? And I left, and about a half hour later, she calls me. She goes, my water broke. And I'm like, okay, right in the middle of the workout, got home, let go, take her to the hospital, running red lights, driving crazy on the highway, speeding, didn't care, get there, boom, 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 baby comes, boom, boom, there's the baby, free granola bars for dad, and we're on our way. Wow. Like, it's not that hard to be a good parent. It really isn't. And so I don't appreciate anybody like that guy who's like, I'm skipping my kid's birth to be at this playoff game.
Good parent and good husband, right? I mean, come on.
Well, yeah.
Be there for your wife.
Be there for your
such
wife.
a big moment. Yeah, that's Richard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bob, you want to go next?
Yeah, I will. Mine is pretty simple, and it's been bothering me for a while now. It's kind of been festering a little bit. It's simple. You're a Richard if you don't say thank you. And whatever it is, if somebody holds a door for you, or if you go above and beyond and do something for somebody, or you just do something for somebody, or they ask you to do something and they don't say thank you. And it really bothers me more than anything. It's not hard. It doesn't cost anything. If somebody does something for you or something you ask them to do, be a human being and respond, thank you for getting this done. Thank you for holding the door. Thank you for doing whatever it was. It's not hard to say thank you. And people who don't say thank you suck and are Richards and Richardettes.
Those 2 words go a long way, too.
Very long way.
Long way.
Long way.
Long way.
Yes.
Got a server, bringing you back your water. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything.
Yeah.
You
It's
don't know
not
what's
hard.
going on.
Yeah, it just isn't hard.
Dusty says it every day. What is it? Little goes a long way, or whatever you say. It's be
Yeah.
nice. Mine would be the one person who didn't vote for Caitlin Clark, Rookie of the Year. You're an absolute Richard, and you're an idiot. 66 of the 67 voters voted for Caitlin Clark. She would have been the first unanimous Rookie of the Year, I believe, in the WNBA. And the one person who didn't vote for, you're Richard, and you're just stupid. And you're doing this on your own personal vendettas. That's the only reason you didn't vote for her. There's no reason you watch. There's no way you watch basketball. You watch this season of WNBA, and one of the most historic seasons, one of the most historic players entering the league, and you don't vote for her Rookie of the Year. You're a Richard. You're an idiot.
Yeah, it's probably the same person who didn't vote for George Brett, Nolan Ryan for the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Idiot.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. LOL, you guys don't even know the story. Call me a loser. LOL. No, buddy, I can see your text history. You think C-Dot gets paid to go to big games.
He gets what?
He thinks C-Dot gets paid to go to Royals games by Odyssey.
Why would Odyssey pay him to go to games?
I don't know. That's the same guy that told us we don't know the story. So apparently he knows our
so
job.
he's one of those guys.
Enjoy your day,
Right,
sir.
yeah.
I hope you have a good one. Go do something nice for somebody, though. I take back the fact we called you a loser. That's my nice trait to you. Now you go do something nice. I call your bluff.
Because he won't do anything nice for somebody.
Well, I hope he does. I'm being positive. But yeah, that's our Richards of the week right there. How do you not vote for Caitlin Clark Rookie of the Year?
Well, because you
Stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, how did Ken Griffey Jr. only get like 97% of votes? Well, he missed so much time. He doesn't need to be a Hall of Famer. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Did Brett didn't even get 100%.
No, that's what I just said.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Brett Nolan Ryan got 99% of the vote.
Mariano the only one that's got 100%?
Rivera,
and Jeter?
I can't remember if Jeter got 100% of the vote or not. I wish there was a way to look that up. Like we had like a device or something we could look at and see. I know Mariano Rivera got 100. And if you didn't vote for Mariano Rivera, you're just a Richard too. I mean, he was the greatest closer that we've ever seen. Maybe the greatest high leverage athlete of all time.
Yeah.
Jeter fell 1 vote short.
Okay, so the same guy who didn't vote for Derek Jeter. Probably A-Rod voted in that.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah, I just the personal vendettas that people hold when they do that's why the Hall of Fame stuff kind of bothers me. First of all, they only allow writers to do it, which is ridiculous. Second of all, people hold personal grudges over whether or not somebody should be in the Hall of Fame. Somebody asked me about Pete Rose again the other day, right? Like, because he died. And they're like, well, the lifetime ban's over. They should lift the lifetime ban. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. Let him back into baseball. That's fine. His lifetime is over. But I said, I wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame because he was doing things as manager of the Reds that you could clearly tell years later he was gambling on those games. And when he was making lineup changes or putting people in that weren't expected to be in that day or changing the pitching rotation and all that kind of stuff, you're jeopardizing other guys' careers by doing stuff like that and putting them in jeopardy. So Pete Rose had an adverse effect on so many people because of his gambling habit. That's why, for me, he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame.
Well, and I hate the anonymous voting, too. You know, that one person did vote for Caitlin Clark or show yourself. Who are you?
Who
Come
are
on.
you? Yeah.
Tell us why.
Somebody says, but then somebody from the 913 says people don't vote for unanimous elections just so their name gets out there and people talk about them.
Sometimes people will say they did not vote for so-and-so. I hope this person comes out and tells you who it was that didn't vote and gives you a reason why.
Yeah, why?
We'll bring another person out, Jay Binkley, who does a lot and probably more than anyone here at the station. Will join us for this week's version of the Roundtable here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan. I got to go. My future wife's getting ready to have birth here on your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
When Google Fiber first launched 1 gig internet right here in Kansas City, it cost $70. Cut to today. Over 10 years later, 1 gig internet still costs the same, $70. That's what you get with Google Fiber. Fast, reliable internet with simple, straightforward monthly billing. No data caps, no annual contracts, no hidden fees. Just a small local fee for the city on top of your flat, predictable price. Go beyond good enough. Go beyond fiber. Sign up today at fiber.google.com.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Sean Barber. You know there's nothing easier than to enjoy watching the Chiefs with some wings and an ice-cold Bud Light. And Buffalo Wild Wings is serving up both for every game, all season long. Join me at Buffalo Wild Wings, located off 105th in Metcalf and Overland Park, Friday, October 4th. I'll be there with the crew from 6 to 8 p.m., celebrating the back-to-back Super Bowl champs while eating some wings and drinking $5 Bud Lights. Nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
For more, go to 965thefan.com. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and our 2 soccer teams, the Current and St. Louis City SC, are all endorsing Amendment 2. Here's why you should support it too. Right now, Missouri sports fans are taking their money and placing their bets in Kansas and Illinois. We're losing our money to other states, money that could be invested in our schools. Amendment 2 fixes that. By legalizing sports betting, Amendment 2 will generate over $100 million for Missouri schools over the next 5 years. And there's a strong constitutional guarantee ensuring the revenue from sports betting will go to education. Kansas and Illinois know sports betting is a winner for their fans and taxpayers. It's time for Missouri to get into the game. Amendment 2 means over $100 million for Missouri schools. Join the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, Current, and St. Louis City SC in supporting Amendment 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
This is Gene at House of Diamonds. No paint-by-number custom jewelry, no bogus sales and financing offers, and absolutely no lab diamond ripoffs. Everything at House of Diamonds is real. House of Diamonds on the southeast corner of College and Quivira.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex, breathe, use as directed.
Save on O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner. Get 2 cans of O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner for just $8. Valid in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
It's not just about watching the game, it's about betting on it. I'm Mike Valenti, and on Cash the Ticket, Jim Costa and I break down every college football and NFL matchup like it's the last game we're ever going to watch. From the best bets to the sneaky underdogs, and of course, as my co-host likes to say, the value. And the one thing we're not going to do is pretend we're professionals. We have fun with it, it's an entertainment product, and it makes watching games a hell of a lot of fun. So Cash the Ticket, follow it in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Today, expect a sunny day with a high of 81.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples store has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. Save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Kansas Lottery Play-On app. Scan your tickets for more chances to win.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
That dude was high on something.
He was high on college football. College football with Big Blue. Let's throw in a chaw and talk some ball with Big Blue. Knows college football better than his own family. College football with J. Big Blue. Got their chaw in, wearing them short track style shorts. I heard he almost played football in Nebraska. He used to call Bobby Bowden and ask for football informational nuggets with barbecue sauce. Jay knows more about high school football than you know about your family. B-Dub, call Jay Binkley. Call Bink. College football with Big Blue. Let's throw in a chaw and talk some ball with Big Blue. Knows college football better than his own family. College football with J. Big Blue.
That's right. The man, the myth, the legend is joining us on the roundtable, brought to you by the Kansas Lottery. Dream bigger. Jay Binkley here. You got a big show tonight with Sean Barber at 105th and Metcalf. Right?
Yeah. The Buffalo Wild Wings it was Thursdays each week in September. Now it'll be on Fridays for the rest of the year.
Nice.
We did it because Royals were always off on Thursday, right? So that's when we did it. Mitch Schwartz, I do believe he might be out at the Cal game because he's a Cal alumni because that's where College Game Day is going to be. So
first time ever.
Yeah, so Sean Barber, it was one of the 5 schools that had never done it. So Sean Barber is in this week and next week.
Yeah.
And he'll be in like 4 or 5 of them, or 6 of them, Sean Barber will be. So it'll be me and Barber at the Fans Football Show. And it's a ton of fun. We enjoy it. We enjoy everything except for the Richard of the Week last week. They came up to Mitch Schwartz and I's table wearing a Dallas Cowboys shirt. It was on Thursday Night Football.
Right.
He's like, well, why is the Chiefs station here? We're here to watch the Dallas Cowboys game. I mean,
it's Kansas City, pal. Sit back down.
We're in Kansas City, and Dallas sucks.
Yeah.
And he kept going on and on. I was like, do you honestly want to take a chance at Mitch Schwartz and I just pounding the absolute hell out of you?
Yeah.
I would just go away.
So he just kept going? Yeah,
he kept going. He kept talking and being annoying. I mean, just being really annoying. I was like, dude, you're a Dallas Cowboy fan. Go away.
Yeah, go sit to the other side of the room and watch with the other fan
This
here.
is Kansas City, man.
Yeah.
In case this is Winter USA right here, Titletown.
That's right. It is Titletown, USA. And look, this is where we are right now, Jay. I mean, we're a quarter through the season roughly. I mean, it's hard to do that now with 17 games. So, like, after the first quarter on, Monday night will be officially a quarter of the way through the season, but they're sitting at 4-0 right now.
At halftime, though, Bob.
Halftime? Is it
Yeah.
halftime? Okay. So they're sitting at 4-0 right now, and obviously it's kind of not the season we expected from an offensive standpoint with all these injuries right now. But sitting at 4-0, Jay, you got to be pleased with what you've seen because not only are they not playing great on offense, but the defense has been dominating, and I think this has kind of become a defensive league overnight.
It really has, and it's fun to watch, and I've always said, good teams find a way to win close games. Great teams do it consistently, and that's what the Chiefs do. The Royals and Chiefs, they're this cardiac, man. The cardiac units in this town have to be full.
Right.
But they find ways that I've seen so many teams find ways to lose at the end. It's that championship culture. It's that championship DNA. When you feel that, because a lot of teams start sinking in the back of your mind, like if you're down, like,
yeah,
we're going to lose what I'm eating for dinner tonight, that kind of thing. But the Chiefs are like, okay, how are we going to figure out how to win this game? And that's the whole mindset and mentality of them, and it's fun to watch. And the other thing is, too, I put out on Twitter the other day, like, Mahomes has lost 4 times in his career, his entire career, and we're in the 7th year of him starting, where the team has lost by more than 1 score. What I mean by a touchdown, 2-point conversion. And I said this as I'm sitting there watching Josh Allen get his ass kicked. And I'm sitting there saying, we're watching good quarterbacks each and every week in this league just get pounded. Like, that doesn't happen to the Chiefs. They are so tough to beat, man. If you're an opposing coach, you're thinking, how the hell are we going to beat this team? We got to play nearly perfect. That's where the Chiefs get in your mind because you think you have to play nearly perfect. But I mean, Tom Brady, I'd see him get blasted 34-10 by the Lions at times. That just does not happen to the Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. It's amazing have they been able to keep games so close?
Well, what I think is really amazing, though, Jay, about all of this is they're doing it with a negative turnover ratio, too. I think they're -4, and they're 4-0.
Yeah, and they were bad at that last year.
I know, and they still find ways to win. And I'd like to say, imagine if they didn't turn the football over. But, I mean, they would truly be an unbeatable team if they just protected the football.
It's like Dos Case.
Yeah.
They once had a bad experience, or once had a close game, just see what it felt like. It's
Right,
like the Chiefs are like, now the Chiefs are giving the ball away as an advantage. Like, let's just try to make this thing close. But if they put things together, just like Andy Reid after the game, last week, where he's sitting there in the locker room saying, we're just that close to putting this whole thing together. And they really are. I mean, because you sit there and you watch it. But every week I sit here and I'm like, all right, we've seen this before. Like, Atlanta will go down and score touchdowns. Like, okay, what were the Chiefs going to do to win this game? Is it going to be Butker kicking a game-winning field goal? What's going to happen? But it's been defensive stand lately, which has been absolutely fun to watch.
Who's the guy that steps up this week with the Rice absent? Do they go over the top with Worthy more often? Do they run Worthy across, or do we see kind of a surprise Juju game?
And then that's one thing. Yeah, I think Worthy on this crossing pattern. That's what he was known for at Texas. He was a very, very good route runner at Texas, and I've heard some say, well, he's got to learn all the route. No. Watch University of Texas film the last couple of years. He's a very, very positive route runner. But, yeah, I think we'll see him more. I think teams will eventually start to respect that ability, and I think it'll only help the Chiefs in the long run, because if you're stretching the field, then they won't put all the safeties up closer to the line. It spreads that defense out more. I think it's going to be Worthy. I think Kelsey, more added role onto that. I could see, Noah Gray sprinkling. The Chiefs just find a way to sprinkle the ball around. Kareem Hunt gets them out of the backfield. They'll utilize, running backs out of the backfield. They'll try to manufacture their way down the field. I'm not saying like a Justin Watson's going to step up and do the deal. I just think that it'll just be a little bit more spread out.
You mentioned Noah Gray, and I was talking to somebody yesterday about that, and they paid him for, bizarrely paid Noah Gray, right?
Randomly, right before the season started.
What is going on here? Noah Gray. Okay, fine. So, but that being said, you expect more out of Noah Gray. What can they do to get more out of Noah Gray?
Well, nothing. I think you see what you get. And we've seen better production each and every year. Like his rookie year really didn't do much.
Right.
It was like 10 catches, 11 catches. Then it's more production. But he is reliable and does catch the football, which is a good thing with Noah Gray. I just think you look at the box score at the end, you'll see 7, 8, 9 receivers, catch footballs, because I do believe they'll lean heavily on throwing the running backs out of the backfield, and they'll figure out ways to do it, whether it's Xavier Worthy on jet sweeps, try to get Kelsey, more acclimated to the game like they did in Los Angeles, and Justin Watson getting that 1 or 2 catches, down the field, that one for 45 and the other one for 15, 20. I could see him doing that as well. The Juju thing and stuff like that, I'm not expecting anything. I'm not saying, well, Juju's going to go. No, Juju is what he is.
Mitch Holthus, voice of the Chiefs, joins us every Friday at 7:30, and I know you love listening to that, right, Jay?
Mitch is awesome.
He's the best, right? And he had made a comment to us, which I thought was, okay, I agree. He goes, Andy's going to have to get back to where he was in preseason of 2022. Right after they traded Tyreek Hill. What are we going to do? Oh, my God, how are we going to score points on offense? And we know the rest of the story. They figured it out just fine and have won 2 straight Super Bowls since. But with this roster where it is right now, with no Hollywood Brown, no Rashee Rice, who knows how long he's going to be out right now. You've got no Isaiah Pacheco. Those are 3 big weapons that you thought you were going to have. If you're Andy Reid and he came to you and said, hey, Bink, what do you think we should do from an offensive standpoint? What puts us in best position to win? What would you tell Andy Reid as the best way to kind of devise an offense right now with the talent they have to go out there and win games?
I kind of like this mindset of this tough physical, just leaning into what this team is. That offensive line is nasty. Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey and those dudes, they like to pound you into the ground. I mean, it's something that every week it's pancakes served with this offensive line, but the running game. They can do it. And the Chiefs have shown games where they can run the ball just, more predicated on running the football than sprinkling in that Xavier Worthy down the field when that defense starts to respect your running game so much and they're creeping up the line. I would concentrate on the running game. It's kind of funny because Andy Reid has just learned every single way how to win a game because of being without players. Their defense is changing on him. Mahomes even said, he's seeing everything as far as what teams do. But Andy Reid, the running game, I'd like to see a lot more of the running game. They have the guys to do it. I know Pacheco's not there, but heck, Kareem Hunt can do it. Get in the ball a lot more. Clyde's coming back, even though I'm not expecting much from there. But Carson still just keep pounding it because it really takes the life out of a defense when the Chiefs are able just to, get those 3 and 4 yards or move the chains. But he's seen everything. And what's funny is how they had to switch. Like the whole mindset of the Chiefs was when Hollywood in training camp, it was Hollywood Brown, it was Xavier Worthy, man, this team is going to stretch the field. And then all of a sudden, they completely had to change what they were. I mean, they thought they were one thing,
right?
And now they're not. They thought they had a Corvette, and they're driving a Toyota Camry.
Nothing wrong with that. A very nice, reliable
No, it
automobile.
is a nice, reliable, but they thought they had this.
Or a Subaru.
They thought they had the ZR1.
And
now
Subaru Outback.
Neon green that parks sideways in our parking lot.
Person's wearing Birkenstocks.
With no socks. Those things got a funk. Let's switch over. I'm interested to know what really gets Binkley going on Saturday. Obviously, the Royals play at 5:38. There's a big one in College Station this weekend, buddy.
That's what she said.
That's right. There is a massive game for the Missouri Tigers this Saturday.
Yes.
How do you think this goes? They have played 4 games this year, all at home, a bunch of cupcakes. They go on the road. They go play.
I would use that cupcake term lightly.
So Vanderbilt's good. Boston College is, I guess, the best team they played. Buffalo's good.
Vanderbilt,
Tennessee Milrow.
Well, here's the thing. A couple weeks ago when they played.
Sounds like a bakery to me.
Well, put it this way. A couple weeks ago when they played Boston College, it was one of 2 games in college football pitting 2 ranked teams.
Sure.
This weekend, Missouri's playing that's the only game between 2 ranked teams. So they've had, they had the spotlight a couple of times, but I mean, 2.5-point dogs, at A&M. It's a tough place to play. We know that. I mean,
be a dog.
If they lose that game, is the season over?
No, not with Missouri in the SEC.
Because you got to think they're not winning that game in Tuscaloosa. There's no way they win against Alabama. Not for what we saw what they did against Georgia. I don't see it.
The only thing, if it could harken back to, 2013, Gary Pinkel, when he was trying to build that program, they won in Georgia.
Jumbo.
And it was always seemed like, because they were like, but that game put, kind of Missouri on the map, and it parlayed them into, 2 straight SEC title game appearances. Yeah. But going down there to A&M, it's going to be a tough game. They all know that. Missouri is a better team than Texas A&M. But the interesting thing is they have this quarterback that's this freshman, Marcel Reed. But Connor Wigman's their starter, but he's been hurt. But they said he's coming back. Well, this Marcel Reed has started 3 games. He's one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the country. His sister works for the University of Missouri. And so for the football department. So Drinkwitz won't let her go. But they're being coy on who's going to be their starter with Texas A&M. But that's the 11 a.m. game. I'm really looking forward to that game.
It's gonna be a good one. Probably the best game of the weekend in college football.
I'm just happy it's at 11. I get to start that Saturday off with that.
Saturday with that, right?
And then I can get a nice nap in between the Royals game.
Absolutely.
Then Nebraska, Rutgers, 2:30.
I'll
go through the whole slate if you want me to.
We're good.
6:30, Iowa State, Baylor, Tennessee.
We're gonna be watching the Royals.
Tennessee, 6:30, Mac Dogs.
We're gonna be watching the Royals at 5:30.
I am too.
And you are how old?
I am about 27.
No, honestly, how old are you?
51.
Okay, so do you really remember 76, 77, 78, or is that just before you really had those sports memories, right?
Bob, I'm one of the few. I'm probably the only one at the station who went to the 1980 World Series.
Okay, so
at 7 years old, I was at the 1980 World Series.
I was still a seed.
The excitement was there. I was a kid. Well, the excitement was because they had beaten the Yankees. They'd played the Yankees, 76, 77, 78. And then 80, they finally beat them. They get in there and played the Phillies. I think it was game 3 or 4. It was one of the 2. Those were the ones in Kansas City. But you grew. When I grew up as a kid, it was hating the Yankees.
Right. For
that was the rival.
That was like George Brett was on with us earlier. He goes, Royals-Yankees not a rivalry. It's just not. And he's right
not anymore.
About that.
It was.
But for all of those people who have heard it was a rivalry, how many people are getting excited for this Royals-Yankees playoff series? Not because they saw the Royals-Yankees rivalries of the 70s, but heard about it from either their father or their grandfather. And I think that's where a lot of this comes from. I don't know how many people are truly left that remember sitting there as an adult watching those games. I mean, my dad was in his 30s in the 70s, right? So,
how much did your dad hate the Yankees?
I mean,
hated them.
Probably, they did. Everybody, in our parents' age group and our grandparents' age group, they hated the Yankees, and they told us for all these years, the Yankees, Royals, Royals, and we're all like, it's been 44 years. We've never seen anything like this. Now we get to see this series. And so for the last 44 years of hearing about everybody hating the Yankees or the Yankees hating the Royals and all that stuff, we get to bring it to life. I think this is arguably, besides L.A. and San Diego, the most intriguing DS that we have.
I look at it as a tale of 2 fan bases in Kansas City. There's those that are younger that don't realize how good the Yankees were, and those that are older, like myself, that remember Yankees, because there's just two different elements of Royals fans. Like, we all remember that as far as my age, that you grew up and you didn't like the Yankees. Then, of course, you hated the fact they had the Yes Network and the Madison Square Garden Network, and they had more money than anybody else. The Royals actually had the highest payroll in baseball in 1989, if you believe that.
Right.
But then the cable television explosion, and everybody started hating the Yankees. The Yankees' payroll is more than the Reds or the Royals, Tigers, and Cleveland combined.
Okay.
That's why people started having this animosity towards New York, the evil empire. So that's why kind of the new era, the new age hates the Yankees, how much money they're spending. The older hates them for several reasons.
Shouldn't you hate
for
the
that,
system,
and
though,
because
and not
there's a
the
rival
team? Because it's the system that has allowed the Yankees to get away with murder, basically.
Yeah, but I just think that the older group looks at all these different things when it comes to the Yankees and just the importance of it. It's Kansas City versus New York. This is big. It's always been kind of fun for Kansas City to us against the world type of mentality. But I do see two different factions, and I see it because sometimes at night we'll have that debate. Someone will sit in and says, who's the greatest of all time? Is it George Brett or is it Salvador Perez?
Well,
Your
it's
generation,
George.
Exactly, 100% it is. But somebody ask somebody my age, I'll say George Brett 100%.
Yeah.
You ask somebody that's 24 or 25,
They never
like
saw
our young
George play.
producers, they'll say Salvador Perez.
Right. But George is the greatest Royal
It's
of all
100%
time.
George
and Bobby
Brett.
Witt's number 2. I mean, trending to be number 2, I should say.
Yeah, it's 100% George Brett.
At this
Batting
point in
title in
time.
3 decades, hit 391
What
season.
if- But Salvi probably right now is probably the second greatest Royal
No,
of
I
all
get
time.
it. But Salvador Perez, yes, at his position, you'll think one of the greatest of all time. But George Brett's considered probably one of the greatest baseball players of all
You can
time,
make a case
regardless
for
of
top
position.
5 baseball player of
Yeah,
all time.
100%. It's 100% George Brett. It takes me 1 second to answer the question.
I would say that there could be a riff in this system. I think that Bobby Witt Jr. is trending to be the greatest Royals player of all time.
Could, yeah.
I think Salvador Perez is obviously the second greatest Royal of all time. But let's play hypothetical here. You could have a conversation with Sal and George. You really could.
It's hard,
but I'm getting there. If Salvador Perez and the Royals win a World Series this year, big if. They win a World Series this year, Salvador Perez would have 2 titles, and let's say he's a World Series MVP. 2 titles, 2 World Series MVPs. George has 1. Yeah, he's got the batting titles. But we all use the narrative that you're remembered for what you do in the playoffs and your legacy is built there.
Sure.
Salvador Perez, we all know. Everybody, if you don't like Salvador Perez in Kansas City, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Have you ever met somebody that doesn't like Salvi?
No.
Okay.
But I've
Never.
met people that don't like George.
Yeah.
And I love George. I've met George a couple of times. I know that he gets a false, rendition of who he really is.
Here's what I would say to
but
that
what
one.
I'm saying is if Sal wins 2, and let's say he wins a World Series MVP,
Sure.
that'd be 2 of those.
Yes,
that's 2 titles. That's 1 team, his entire career, surefire Hall of Famer, Royals Hall of Famer, Gold Glover multiple times, All-Star multiple times. I think you could have a conversation that Salvador Perez then would also be one of the best catchers of all time.
Oh,
George,
yeah. They win this year. Salvi's a lot for the Hall of Fame. I think he's a
I think
lot
he's
for the Hall
already
of
there.
Fame now. But,
I'm
we
just saying
got
you could
people who voted against George.
You could,
I'm just
that's
saying the
because you could say
conversation would merit
you could
itself.
say he did it with 2 different groups of Royals, like the one, and then he went through the tough times. They did it with another group. That's unbelievable
It
accomplishment. But I'll say this about Brett. We're talking, that was the time where just 2 teams went to the playoffs.
Right.
You didn't get in as a wild card.
Right.
The Royals won the first one, or went to the World Series in 14 as a wild card. They went to the playoffs this year as a wild card. How many times would George Brett have gone to the playoffs
Yeah,
had it
but
been a
you
wild
can't
card?
do that.
No, but he went to the playoffs in 76, 77, 78, 80,
Right.
84,
Yeah, but the
85.
talent was also not as great
I mean,
then as it
you
is
win a
now.
batting title in 3 different decades and considered one of the greatest ever.
Yeah.
It takes nothing away from Sal. He's considered one of the greatest at his position, but George Brett's in the argument for greatest player of all time.
But I also think, too, like, baseball is not football. And in baseball, I think we give more credence to the individual accomplishments than we do in football. Like, I think in football, if you're a quarterback or a head coach, you're solely judged on championships won. That's why Dan Marino will always be in the also-ran category, right? He didn't win any titles, right? But in baseball, I don't think we do that as much. I don't think we hold people up to how many titles you won in baseball as to whether or not you're a Hall of Famer. I think baseball lends itself more so to individual first and then team success is second. And nobody had more individual success in Kansas City than George Brett did. 70s, 80s, 90s, and today, winning the
But there was
batting
never a doubt he
championship
wasn't the best player on his team. Never a doubt that
Never a
George
doubt.
Brett wasn't the best
No,
Royal.
by
Now, there's an
far.
argument. You ask people who the best Royal, let's say Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah.
But I also would say I would disagree with that too, because all I've seen this entire postseason is everyone knocking Mike Trout's postseason record. Mike Trout's been one of the best baseball players in the regular season. When healthy, past 3 years, not great, but when healthy, Mike Trout was winning MVPs, winning batting titles, winning Gold Gloves.
And I think
everyone switches that narrative just for him.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, what's he won in the playoffs? Nothing.
Right.
Bobby Witt Jr. already has more RBIs, more wins, and more games, as a winning shortstop or as a player than Mike Trout. It's like, but if we're using baseball as as accolades to what they do in their career, not their postseason, then why does it change for Mike Trout?
Because it's just whatever argument you want to make. I mean, welcome to
Because he's not winning any
right?
games. You can make the argument
But that
about
just
titles.
debunks what we just talked about with
games.
Salvador Perez and George Brett. That just literally debunks everything you just talked about.
No, because he's not winning any games. He's not winning.
But he's the best player on his team, no doubt.
No, it's fine, but he's not winning any games when you get to the postseason. That was the thing about it. I mean,
and he's only been to the postseason one time, 3 games Royals beat him.
Forget about titles. He's not even winning games when he gets there.
Yeah, and then really not winning games in the regular season all that much either.
I'm just wondering, some of those years, the Royals were like number 2, just barely behind making the playoffs.
102 wins and didn't make the playoffs, I think, one year. Because Oakland had 104
it was
or whoever
ridiculous.
it was.
Mahomes didn't get to touch the ball in the second half against the Patriots. That rule changed. What happens if he gets to touch the ball? Then maybe he has another Super Bowl.
You know what?
Do that and everything.
Speaking of that game last night drove me nuts because people say, you know what, if the Chiefs would have lost, they would have changed the rule. It's like, you know how much of an idiot you are on tweeting that? First of all, the Chiefs tried to change the rule, and they didn't do it. It happened to Josh Allen. They changed the rule because of the crying Buffalo Bills.
It's the only way Josh Allen could potentially have success is to have to change rules.
The Chiefs, Tom Brady, as far as the GOAT argument between Mahomes and Brady in Super Bowl titles, Mahomes didn't get to touch the ball in that AFC title game.
Of course, Mahomes didn't score any points in the first half of that game either.
But I'm saying you take that back and you go by different rules. Maybe Brady's not sitting there with 7,
right?
And maybe Mahomes is sitting there with 4. And it's
Brady,
6 and 4.
Brady could be sitting there, quite frankly, with 5, right?
David Tyree.
How many does Brady have? 7?
7.
Okay. 1 with Tampa, 6 with New England.
Okay. Take away that one here at Arrowhead.
David Tyree one.
No, just take away
he did take that one away.
He did take that one away. Take away that one here in Kansas City and take away the Tampa one. You're talking about a gentleman with 5 and Patrick has 3.
Yeah, you are. And then that head-to-head, like if the Chiefs had played the Bucks.
If you took away those 2, Patty could have 2 more. He'd have 4. Be 4 and 5.
Okay, if you want to play that game, sure.
Yeah,
okay.
so that's
the game you're playing.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
If the Chiefs win that game, they keep them away from it because I think the Chiefs actually could have beat the Rams in that rematch in the 100%. Super Bowl then.
Yeah.
So then Patrick has that one. And if the line would have played against Tampa and if the Chiefs played Tampa like they did in the regular season,
he have 5.
That was the difference. That was a -1 for Mahomes, +1 for Brady. That was the biggest game in their career.
And if Atlanta could hold on to a damn 25-point lead,
right?
2 quarters,
Oh, God, yes.
I mean, we're talking about him passing Tom Brady this year.
Yeah, big difference. You're right, 100%, Dusty.
Why don't you stick around for the final segment? Because I've got a really interesting topic about your sex life. This is 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty and Brinkley on the roundtable here.
Awesome.
On 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Kansas Lottery Play-On app. Scan your tickets for more chances to win.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Hey, sports fans. If you like college football and you love the excitement of going for a big score with parlay wagering, then this offer from BetMGM really has legs. Introducing the College Football No Sweat Parlay Token. Apply this token to any qualifying college football parlay wager. If you don't win, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets. Log into your existing BetMGM account to receive your token. Then add a qualifying college football parlay wager to your bet slip and attach the token. You'll get your stake back in bonus bets if your parlay isn't a winner. So go deep without even breaking a sweat. Make your favorite picks from dozens of betting options and watch the games knowing you're part of the action. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
What does it mean to be the official information technology provider for the Chiefs? It means everything. Technology Group Solutions makes sure everything runs flawlessly for the millions of fans that attend games and the hundreds of millions of fans that comprise Chiefs Kingdom around the world. Technology Group Solutions can deploy that same dedication, problem solving, and incredible service to ensure your business runs smoothly. Technology Group Solutions, powering Chiefs Kingdom, and ready to do the same for you.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
After you use Bounce Dryer sheets and realize how fresh, soft, less wrinkled, and less staticky your laundry can be, you'll put a sheet on it every time. Like those socks that smell like they've been through a marathon. Put a sheet on it. Or that blanket that's got wrinkles on its wrinkles. Put a sheet on it. Maybe even your chatty coworker who keeps distracting you. Okay, Bounce Dryer sheets can't do it all. But for fresher, softer, better laundry, put a sheet on it with Bounce.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc., all rights reserved, Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Let's face it. Nowadays, most companies have to rely on dozens of expensive, disconnected platforms to run their business. And even then, things can get a little, well, stressful. But with Odoo's all-in-one management software, packed with a suite of fully integrated business applications, every process is streamlined. Tasks are automated, and success is just a few clicks away. See how Odoo can take your business to the next level at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Hate it or love it, the show is coming to an end on a Friday. We love it because you get to enjoy the rest of 96.5 The Fan. And do not forget some news for you today regarding other shows. Cody and Gold, they're out at Community America Credit Union in Olathe. Red Friday tailgate. They're giving away Chiefs Monday Night Football tickets. Free lunch 11 to 1 for the first 100 people. Casey Wolf and Alex's future wife, one of the KC cheerleaders, they'll be out there as well. So go see Cody and Gold in Olathe at Community America Bank, and you can get a chance to eat for free, get a chance to go see the game on Monday night, which we can talk to Binkley about here, who's still at the round table with Fescoe and I. Great to see you, Binkley, as always.
Yeah. And I know you put off hip surgery for today, so we appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, will carry me down to my car after this.
Well, we got Spectre will do that.
Yeah, he's got you. Yeah. He's a strong cat.
He really is.
Ever since he had that shoulder surgery.
Yeah. So we got the big game on Saturday, the big game on Monday, the big games on Monday. What are you going to do on Sunday? I mean, my God, there's no Chiefs, there's no Royals. I mean, God, you don't have a honeydew list anymore, so what are you going to do?
Exactly. Well, come in here and we go till noon on just talking football and ball and Royals. We'll have a lot of things to talk about till noon.
Yeah.
But then just going home, just chilling out, watching some NFL. So just watching another game, watching Red Zone. Red Zone, which we watched quite a bit on Sunday. But yeah, you just take a breather and get ready for Monday, man.
No doubt.
You get ready for what will be an epic night in Kansas City.
How are you going to approach Monday night? Because I know a lot of people have already been talking about, are you going with a 2 TV setup?
Yeah.
Which sound are you going to have on? How are you going to approach this? Because I think you get the Royals for an hour before the Chiefs really kick off. So you can watch that game as a standalone game from about 6:38 to 7:20.
Sure.
And then when the Chiefs kick on, then you have the Chiefs and Royals going on dueling TVs. Who gets the sound?
Sound will be the Chiefs.
Yeah. And I think that's pretty much across the board for everybody.
It's better to watch football to me with sound on than baseball. Baseball, you can, because it's what I've done all year. You always have baseball on in the background because you can enjoy that. Or if you really want to be good, which I do when I come in here, because I come in here during the games, do those audiograms, listen to Mitch and Dayton and Kling. Because you know what happens before TV. It's so awesome because you see what's on TV.
It's like a replay.
Like I'll sit there because I can hear it in the speakers in the studio, and I was like, you get mad because, oh, God, here comes the interception by Mahomes. So you already know what's going to happen. It's frustrating. But listen to the broadcast on the radio. That's what I would suggest because they'll tell you what's going to happen before you're seeing it on TV.
Before you see it, yeah. How many people do you think at Arrowhead are going to be watching the Royals on their phone during that game, too?
Most of them. Honestly, or their buddy that's got their phone out and they're watching it, and hopefully, they'll have it on the concourses, whatever. They'll be updating people on the scoreboard and letting people know what's going on. It adds excitement to it. People will be cheering that. And
the random applause and cheers that are going to happen on Saturday or on Monday at Arrowhead Stadium. Like it's going to be like 3rd and 2, and all of a sudden everybody's cheering because the Royals just won or something like that. It's going to be awesome.
It's just a monumental time in this town, and it's funny because a lot of these producers, are a lot younger than us, and we're sitting here, we'll do it, and I'm like.
But they're knowledgeable.
You were like 10 and 9 when these teams started getting good. I mean, there was such a drought where they weren't, man. Bob, when you got in this profession, there wasn't good things that happened in this town. When I got a
turf on field.
When I got in this profession, when you got in this profession, Dusty, just good things didn't happen to us.
Yeah, right. It really wasn't. I mean, it was always like Loserville, USA with our teams, right? The Royals were
Boulevard of Broken Dreams, right there between Kaufman and Arrowhead.
Yeah, Chiefs go 8-8, 9-7, 10-6, losing a playoff game, and everybody, we just never were able to taste that success. And for the last 10 years, the great success I like. But the one thing I've realized over the years since we started having this great success is that there is still a large portion of fans who are not able to enjoy this because they think it's going to end. And I really wish those folks would have an opportunity to let that pass go, to let Lynn Elliott go, to let 29 years of no postseason baseball go, to let, all the negative stuff that have happened in sports go and really truly appreciate this, because I think there are a lot of people out there, a good majority of people probably in our age range and older, that are just kind of sitting around waiting for that next shoe to drop. And that bothers me a little bit because while you're doing that, you're missing this greatness that's happening before our eyes.
And we told managers like Ned Yost or something like, you're going to enjoy this because you got to enjoy it. No, I'll enjoy it when it's over.
Right.
I'll enjoy it. Well, Royals, Chiefs, enjoy it now. Just enjoy the moment or what you're in. Let's not get too spoiled because this is not the way. Now, if you're younger, this way it's always been for you.
Right. Yeah.
People like my age and Bob and Dusty and stuff like that, I mean, you grew up with so much failure with teams in this town, and you'd always look towards next year, but there's this excitement. And I think Monday's just a very, very unique day in this city.
Yeah.
It shows you what the city's all about. It's not flyover country like it's often been called. It is the epicenter of what happens in sports. New York, you add up their NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL. The last decade, they have 0 titles. Flyover country has 4.
Right.
Do you think what's your percentage the Royals beat the Yankees in this series?
I'm feeling really confident about it because they're loose. And the Yankees, I feel, have all the 100%. So I'm like 65%.
See, that's what the odds say. The Yankees have like a 67% chance of winning, 67.1% chance, I think is what I saw of the Yankees winning this series. I honestly do believe, though, and I'm not joking, I think the Royals win this in 2. Like, I think they get to that point where the Yankees are so tight, Jay. And, we've all done whatever in our life, right? Whether it's playing a sport, doing a job, whatever. If you go into a situation where you're tight and tense, you're not going to perform at your best. Yeah. You're just not, right? And I feel like the Yankees have that tense tightness around them. Aaron Judge has not had postseason success ever in his career, and he knows it, and New York's already letting them hear it. Like, this is a big series and a big postseason for Aaron Judge. And if he doesn't perform, he's going to be looked at as the greatest Yankee to never lead his team to a championship. And people will say he doesn't deserve to be in Monument Park and have his number retired and all that stuff. I don't know that I've ever seen pressure on an individual athlete like we're going to see with Aaron Judge in this series against the Royals.
And they're so worried about it. They're 100% worried about it. That's just defining moments with Aaron Judge. Bobby Witt, it's defining moments for him.
But
the pressure's
pressure
not
on him.
No, there's not, but it's defining moments.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already being talked about. They keep talking about, first player since Jimmy Fox to have back-to-back RBIs. I mean, this could be his grand stage as well, but there's no pressure there. Kid's on because he's so young. Aaron Judge, honestly, with the pressure, because New York doesn't let you forget anything.
Right.
If you step out of line, they will not let you forget.
And you talk about pressure all week and all show of this about the Yankees and the Royals. It's like if the Royals lose, and I'm not trying to put a bad, juju on them, but if the Royals lose,
right,
it's a celebration still. Because it'd be like, dude, they lost to the Yankees. They got all the way to ALDS. Like they were a 56-win team last year. The Yankees lose, it is Boone's getting fired. Judge is overrated.
Right.
Soto's not coming back. Garrett Cole sucks. Like, that's the different narrative of that. And, man, I don't know. The only thing I can base New York media off of is watching the movie 61 and how Roger Maris had to deal with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that was just a home run record.
Right.
Now they're protecting the king of the Bronx and Babe Ruth. But, like, you watch that movie and you think to yourself, like, if that's how it gets to one guy, imagine what this team does where everything is amplified. Plus, they went out and got Jazz Chisholm. If he doesn't do well, he's considered a bad move by ownership. So I love that there's zero pressure. George Brett said today on the show, the Royals have zero pressure. The Yankees have 100% of the pressure. And we know what that's like. You go look at it as a Chiefs narrative. When Buffalo plays the Chiefs in the playoffs, who has the pressure?
Buffalo.
Who loses?
Buffalo.
Thank you.
Yep.
It's just it's crazy how that works.
It really is. Like, and again, I'm not just saying this because we're here in Kansas City. I don't think the Yankees stand much of a chance against this Royals pitching, man. Like, I really don't. And if the Royals get a 1-0, 2-0 lead in the first inning, Aaron Judge is going to have sawdust in his hands when he gets to the plate.
Oh, no question. And I know the Royals love those fences.
The Yankees never faced Walker this year. They only faced Reagans once. They faced Lugo twice. Lugo was dominant against them.
And he's got all that experience. I mean, it's just, look at the Royals. I mean, they've playoff experience all over this team. This is not like a typical team that just gets there. Like Detroit. Detroit's very young with not much experience, and the Royals didn't have a lot in 14, obviously, either. But this team is loaded with guys with postseason experience.
If they win one game in New York, it's over. Because then...
What happens if the Yankees win 2 in New York? Is it over then?
It gets closer to the other side.
Yeah.
Because if you win one game in New York, you come back for 2 games. Let's say you win one in New York, you win both at home. You're up 2-1.
It's over.
Right? Then you go back.
No, you don't go back. It's over.
If you win 2 and 1, that'd be 3.
Yeah.
So let's say you win one here, win one there. It's 2-1 Royals. Then you're gonna get Lugo, Reagans, Waka, 1, 2, 3, no matter what, because there's no tomorrow.
Right.
And I don't see that scenario paying out. The only way the Yankees win this matchup is if they win both games in New York. They have to win both games.
They have to win both games in New York. I just don't see the Yankees pitching matching up with the Royals pitching, and the pressure on the Yankees is going to be the most intense pressure we have ever seen. The Royals have zero pressure.
That's right. Remember, go see Cody and Golden Community America Credit Union in Olathe. Red Friday tailgate, giving away Chiefs Monday Night Football tickets. Free lunch from 11 to 1 for the first 100 people. KC Wolf and KC cheerleaders there. Beakley, thanks for coming on. Go do nice things for people this week, your weekend. You never know. It could change their day, week, month, or year. It is simply cool to care. Kansas City, stay safe and stay kind. Have a great weekend.